What do you mean? It's a beautiful piece of original art for Ocarina of Time 3D.
Are you a puzzle connoisseur?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, I like puzzles.
Are you a puzzle master?
Certainly not.
Okay. I don't really like this puzzle.
Why not? What's wrong with this puzzle?
Well, first of all, it is one of the USopoly ones, so it's only 550 pieces, which that means the piece, like you can tell, the pieces are kind of bulky and big.
Okay.
So that makes it a lot easier compared to the 1,000-piece. Well, none of them are on screen right now. The 1,000-piece ones with the tiny pieces.
I see.
But with everything there is in Ocarina of Time, there's just not enough diversity, I think, in this puzzle. But,
in as far as the color goes, or?
Yeah, 40% of the puzzle is the sky.
That's fair.
And about 25% of the puzzle is the grass.
I was thinking more about the image. I just really like this image, but maybe from a more technical perspective,
yeah,
it might be a little bit weird.
Okay, let's. I think the best way to go about this puzzle. Well, let's devise a strategy before we get into the conversation. But I think we should
also have to do some social media here.
Oh, okay. I think everything should just be not piecing anything together yet, and just divide.
Sort by color here and borders.
Borders. We'll do borders. Okay, we'll do. Oh boy, let's see. What do you think is the best way to divide this? I'm thinking. Oh, what's our team name? The Compendiums.
Yeah, the Compendiums. That's good. 80% of.
Look at Scott, retrocade.
Critiquing. I guess you can kind of already see the puzzle pretty well right here.
Yeah, this is the puzzle right here.
All right.
Yeah. By the way, this is the fourth person that have wished me Boxing Day.
It's Boxing Day, yeah.
I don't know what that means.
That's is that like a Canadian holiday? We could be Gumas, yeah.
Gumas?
I think that's been used before. Okay, so sorry. Go over the strategy.
All right, we're gonna sort pink or lavender.
Lavender/pink. Oh, these are edges too.
Yeah, edges are separate.
Edges are separate. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll start with edges here. All right, pink, lavender over here.
Okay, and then
all other
green,
sky over there. All other sky.
Other sky. Okay.
If it's not any of these two shades,
it's Canadian. Okay, and British.
If it's not those two shades, just put it over there.
We stopped Boxing Day when we won our independence. We were like, screw that.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, and then green. Okay, we'll put green over here and lavender over here.
Okay, and this is not qualify.
No, pink.
That's pink.
That's
okay.
the other.
That's other. Okay.
And if you see Epona, just put her here because
Epona.
You can do Epona.
My favorite.
We already have half of Epona right here.
All right.
So yeah, it's a
the Accountant. I didn't see that one. This is the Ben Affleck movie.
Yeah, it is.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
Okay.
But I remember Scott made a post when it came out saying something like, "You live long enough and you get a movie made about you." That's the only thing I remember about the Accountant.
All right, so outside of doing the puzzle, we do have a discussion topic for this stream. We kind of thought we'd talk about this year in Zelda because we're at the end of the year. Last year we did some compendiums talking about predicting this year coming forward, and we thought let's just combine it all into this stream and do a little discussion on it. So
I thought that this was there was surprisingly more in Zelda this year than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Going into the year, I knew we were not going to get Zelda Switch.
Yes.
I think everybody knew that. I think there was hopes of getting something Zelda, but I don't think we were expecting the big surprise. I think early on was what was the order of the announcements?
The first announcement was Link's Awakening.
Okay, that was back in
March, was it?
Okay.
So I went back and I watched her predictions video today,
Okay.
and that
What did we predict?
well, so we sort of talked about the big. Well, first we did talk about Breath of the Wild 2 and like, will it even be announced?
Mm-hmm.
And your main prediction in regards to that was saying Nintendo is kind of done doing multi-year promotion announcements way ahead of time.
Yes.
And you might have been a little off on it, you know.
Yes.
And then that was more in the realm of what I thought was they might announce something for the next year, you know.
Right.
But so, you know, we got that. But then I think a big thing that I thought was interesting was we started talking about there was all the rumors of maybe a sequel or something to Link's Awakening.
We kept calling it Link's
Reawakening.
Is that what we were? I know we were calling it that, but
we didn't have a title for it, but then I think people were starting to call it that.
Okay.
So that was sort of what we were talking about it like that, and that was the first like big announcement.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were pretty dead set on that it wasn't going to be a remake, which is funny now thinking about it.
What did I say exactly? Was I like?
We thought it would be like a Link Between Worlds.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. That's the obvious answer.
we even thought like we did a video that was like, should Zelda return to Koholint, like the series, you know?
Okay.
And I remember I didn't really want that to happen, like a sequel where you go back.
Mm-hmm.
I did want a new game, but I kind of thought like, let's keep Koholint kind of special, you know?
Okay.
So I was kind of okay with like the concept of a remake because it's just the same story.
Mm-hmm.
But we had been discussing a little bit lately, though. You were kind of saying like you think the remake kind of takes away some of the legacy of the game.
It does. I think it undeniably does, actually, now that I think about it. Because it's no longer... Link's Awakening is no longer just this, like, the first handheld, like...
Yeah.
It's like a hidden gem, almost, like...
A hidden gem. It's like this kind of quirky... I mean, for a lot of people, it's like the one, maybe the one handheld game they were really familiar with in some regards. But it did have this sort of like, it's also on top of it, like the story is kind of mysterious and obtuse. So you do have that going with it too.
Well, I get the sense, I don't know if you got this vibe, whenever you talk to Zelda fans, when it's like a lot of, okay, I'm gonna be a little negative here for a second, but like when you talk about, sometimes you talk to like, I don't like using the word casual, but like the Zelda fan that's played 6 or 7 games, or 8 games or 9 games, not all 17, whatever, depending on what you count as a game.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I've played, Ocarina, Majora, Wind Waker, Twilight, Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild. It's like, and then maybe a Link to the Past is in there.
Yeah.
Maybe. And then it's like, oh yeah, I've played Link's Awakening too.
Yeah.
That's like the one extra one, but like, Oracle of Seasons.
Season Ages.
Spirit Tracks. Like, yeah, those are like...
Or depending on who it is, like maybe it might be an age thing too, because I think for some people that is, oh, and I played like Phantom Hourglass or something, like I had a DS or something.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people maybe in our age range, it's like...
But it gets into that oh, those are the real Zelda games are the console ones, and then there's these the handheld things that also exist.
Yeah,
and they get thrown away a little bit, except for Link's Awakening, because that one was the first one, and it was kind of special, and it like just stands out a little bit, I think.
Yeah, it felt unique, even though there were like the oracles that kind of use the same engine and stuff.
Right. Yeah. So, but now that's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
Because now Link's Awakening is a full-blown console Zelda title.
It's out there
for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
So like it's not, and I don't know. I guess it's judged a little differently now.
Yeah.
I think when people think about Link's Awakening, they're not thinking about, oh, this is a game. I'm putting all the mountain in here too, by the way.
Okay, opponent and mountain. It's a brown.
Yeah, it's all the brown stuff. There might be a little bit of Lon Lon Ranch in there.
I did, well, to go off of what Brett's saying here, I did think they did a good job with the game. Like, I think it's good.
Yes. It's a very good game.
And I like everything about it, but I think it might just be, maybe it's nostalgia or something, but there is something still to me that's like special about the original. And so it does feel like, you know what it reminds me? It's a little different, but it reminds me of when like a band or an artist you've liked since before they're popular, and then they get really popular, and now it's like, oh, it's just not as special, it's not as cool, you know?
Do you feel like well, I mean, did Link's Awakening gain popularity in the last year?
I think more people have played it, you know.
It's not a secret anymore.
Yeah.
But it's not like,
and you know, I saw a lot of people be like, "Oh, now I've had the chance to play it." And I don't agree with them, but they're like, "And it's not as good as I thought it was." You know what I mean? And I just don't see that. And the reason is because we said back when we talked about it that, you know, they just need to make some quality of life improvements here. Otherwise, the game I think it holds up by modern standards.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you did a similar thing to like Legend of Zelda, you know, just put a coat of paint on it and change some of the controls, like people would be like, why did they release this game like this? You know?
Oh, I don't think they would do that. They would say that at all. And I think there's plenty of examples of that. Like, I think they could have, like, all right, just getting a little sidetracked here, but like getting think back to the original 3 Super Mario Brothers games.
Okay.
Those came out on the NES. Like, everybody loved them.
Yeah.
And then Super Nintendo came out, and they made Super Mario World. It's a brand new game. But then they made Super Mario All-Stars.
Yes. Yeah.
And those, it totally upgraded the graphics, especially of the original.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have that game. Well, but even in that case, I feel like Super Mario Brothers 1 through 3, like, even still hold up by modern standards. I think better so than like The Legend of Zelda does.
Yeah.
So, and I think in an almost similar way to Link's Awakening. Like, I think Link's Awakening, other than some of the control things that they changed, like, holds up as a game. And I think maybe there are things people had gripes about, like, oh, it's not as good as it had been hyped up to be. But I think, like, the fact that they really didn't have to change a lot about the game design says a lot about it. Like the dungeon design and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's really the same game.
Yeah.
It's not like and there's not much new about it at all.
Yeah. I mean, we did a video on like the boss changes and stuff like that, but you know, little things, but it mostly feels the same.
Do you think that Link's Awakening needed or I don't need it is not the right word. Do you think you can play the original version anymore?
Well, I have been.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's great still. Like,
what do you guys think, by the way? Do you guys still do you feel that will you ever play Link's Awakening on the Game Boy ever again? Not necessarily on the Game Boy, but that version.
Yeah, or if you haven't played it, or would you be interested to like try it, I guess. I mean, the things I do notice when I play it, just the remake, says Brett. So I do think like the pausing constantly is pretty noticeable. Like that gets me now that I've played the remake, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember even just like last year, someone posted in our Discord going like ranting about having to do that, and I had
to just pause over and over and over. Okay.
And I honestly hadn't really even considered that before.
Okay.
But then it put it in my mind, you know, and then it became like, oh well, yeah, if they remade it, that's something they should do, you know.
Right.
But if no one had ever said anything, I probably would have never thought about it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a fair criticism.
Do you want to start piecing together Epona?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay.
So
this is a 550 pieces. It's I think this will take about 2 hours. That's we should have. Well, we started almost right on time. I think we started. We've been playing for 12 minutes. Are we playing the puzzle? What are we doing here?
Yeah, we're playing puzzle, I think. I just got an eye here. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what else we were just like, yeah, they'll probably announce that, and I think at the time that's all we thought there was gonna be for Zelda this year.
I thought what we never got. I think I did. I had to have mentioned it. Did I mention Zelda Mobile?
We cut it out of the video, but then we did a video where we expanded upon that topic. So yeah, we thought, we were pretty certain, and you convinced me. I was like, I don't know.
I was kind of shocked that that didn't happen.
There was a lot of Nintendo mobile games this year.
I feel like I'm out of the loop, where I just don't know what's happening with mobile.
Yeah.
Like, what's the big ones that they have right now?
Well, this year there was a Dr. Mario one and a Mario Kart one, but I don't know.
Why do I feel that, like, I don't hear about that Mario Kart? I'm not really in the loop, but have you played the Mario Kart?
I didn't even bother with that one. I played the Dr. Mario one a little bit. It was okay. I don't know. I bet it feels like people aren't talking about it, but I bet if we, like, looked at the numbers, that's what it seems like to me, that it probably does well, despite the fact that we don't know anyone talking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I saw a TV ad the other day for, like, Candy Crush. And I was like, who is playing this? I'm sure, like,
I probably soaked in about 50 hours into Candy Crush.
Oh my god.
I would. That was a game that I was playing every single night before I like I'm laying in bed and I'd play a few levels.
Okay.
And then I'd pass out and then I'd wake up looking. I can't find my phone.
So I'm sure it has its, like, audience that is just not us. You know what I mean? So I think
Looks like a hoof.
Okay. Anyone out there play, like, Mario Kart or?
I mean, it can't be bad. I can't imagine Nintendo making it bad.
Well, I had heard that it was, like, microtransactions out the rear, and just, like, just, like, not fun in that regard. But I don't know. If I like I said, that was enough to, like, make me be like, I don't really need to play this.
But I actually don't think we're gonna see a Mario Kart 9 for a long time. I know. Like, I think they're totally skipping the Switch as a like.
I think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will,
That is the Switch Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And
I think it's more likely that they'd even drop some more stuff for that than anything,
Oh, more DLC?
Yeah. Not saying they will. I just think that seems more likely to me.
I'm throwing in Lone Lawn. You got Lone Lawn Ranch over there as well.
I don't know what's going on here for sure. So, yeah, another thing we talked about in the video, because so Zelda Mobile, that didn't happen. That
was the big one I thought for sure was going to happen, and we totally failed on that one.
I mean, so much other stuff came though. I mean, does it even seem like that's something that's happening still?
What do you mean?
Zelda Mobile, or, like, do you still feel that way about it? Like, that it's even...
I think if you asked me a year ago, I would have said it's inevitable.
Yeah.
This looks important.
It does look important.
But now, I'm not sure. I don't know. Oh, this guy looks important, too.
Oh, there we go. I've been looking for that.
Yeah, that one looks important, too.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see what's going on with that anymore. That's something that's
I think occurring. It was because, like, Pokemon Go was so big.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy looks important too.
Thank you. I don't think this is right. I'm not the puzzle master like you.
I should say that I've probably done like 7 puzzles in the last 2 months.
Yeah, I'm not an expert like you, but I'm gonna try to keep up. Yeah, it did seem. Yeah, Pokemon Go was such a sensation, and then Nintendo did go pretty hardcore on. They had the Animal Crossing, and they had the Fire Emblem, and they had all these random. They had whatever that one series was. What was that one series?
I don't know.
There was.
I remember they had Super Mario Run.
Oh yeah, that too.
And that one I feel got mixed reactions.
Oh really? I heard that was okay.
It did, like, maybe they were expecting it like oh my goodness, it's going to be one of the biggest mobile games ever, kind of thing. I mean, anything short of that, I think it's like, I don't want to say failure, but like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Do you remember on Raw when R-Truth played Pokemon Go in the ring? He like was wandering into the ring trying to catch like a
oh my goodness,
something. That's how big it was that
yeah.
WWE was like, we gotta jump. They love jumping in on trends, I guess. So maybe that's not saying much.
You know you've made it when R-Truth is playing your game.
Well, what a legend.
Let's go there.
This goes here. We got a link coming together. So another I guess prediction that didn't come true, or like we actually said maybe not this year, but we're talking about the concept of Skyward Sword HD or whatever.
Do you still feel this is coming?
Yes, but I think we did like I feel like it's
Here's Navi.
I feel like Breath of the Wild 2 is coming before it.
Okay, do you think either of those are coming in 2020?
I think it's possible that...
Or let me rephrase. Do you think we'll get at least one of those?
I think so, yeah. I think we'll get the Breath of the Wild by the end of the year, maybe.
I think we'll get Breath of the Wild this year. I've been saying that for a while.
Yeah, this coming year, right?
There's no way they announced this game at E3 2008-19 and it's not releasing till 2021.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Because there was no need to announce it. You know what I mean? Like, the Switch is as strong as it can be. You know what I mean? Like, there's no like, crazy demand of, like, why are there no Switch games coming out? I don't think anybody's thinking that, right?
I don't think so. Sure, not this year was pretty good. There was a lot of big games, and then even the beginning of next year, there's like Animal Crossing and stuff. So
right, I don't think anybody's like. I'm not gonna say no. People are not craving for games, but I mean it's the Wii U, the Switch is not hurting. For
no,
you know what I mean. So it's like, it's not like the Wii U where it was. They felt I think they need to announce stuff way in advance to get people.
Yeah.
Interested.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no need to do any of that. So
far it has felt like, other than the fact that like Metroid got delayed, that it's been like, here's like our next big thing, and then as it gets closer to that, you maybe hear about the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's kind of been like you're hearing about them in sort of a chronological type order, you know?
Right.
It's not been like, here we're gonna dump 5 games on you at once, you know? Or
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe Breath of the Wild 2 this year. And also, or this coming year. But wouldn't it if they did remake Skyward Sword, at this point, if it came out next year, that would be its like 10th anniversary, right?
It came out in 2011.
That's what I'm like. So if it came out in 2021, you know, that would be I'm sure it doesn't really matter, but that would be almost nice timing, you know.
Do you think that I mean, they did that with what games? The Twilight Princess was a 10-year anniversary.
Yeah,
that was 2016.
Mm-hmm.
From her 2006 game. Well, it wasn't exactly 10 years. It was 9.5, whatever. But same idea.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm like, the more I've been thinking about it, Skyward Sword it's such a weird one because I don't know. I don't know what the legacy of Skyward Sword is right now. It's like such a mixed reaction game.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, there was the whole Champions Guest a few weeks ago on the most divisive game in the series.
It might actually be too. Like,
yeah. Well, I think it definitely is.
Yeah.
I think Andy was saying amongst the staff, nobody had it as like, oh, this is my like 10th favorite Zelda game.
Yeah.
It was either in the top 5 or this is like number 17. Like,
Sure.
you know, challenging Four Swords Adventures or Triforce Heroes. Like,
I also think, not saying it's impossible, but I do think we maybe took for granted or something. We did. I guess we did a whole video about it, but I think the controls are a pretty big factor. Like, in trying to actually get this,
like on the Switch.
Yeah, or like how they want to, if they want to change it, like that's a huge deal. If they don't,
right? Like,
you know, that like that's even a big factor to consider. Like, are people gonna want that? You know?
Yeah, like I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think people that like the game probably, I don't know if they are clamoring for it. Like, like people who really love the game, would they want to just a retrack of it in HD?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel, and that game has the most flaws I think of any Zelda game in terms of just like, I'm not talking about controls. I'm talking about the game itself. That
yeah, that's another thing is
that's the big thing to me more so than anything.
Like yeah, with Wind Waker, it was like we'll polish up this Triforce quest. I still think even then it's not like perfect, but it's serviceable.
Mm-hmm.
But like Skyward Sword is even further out there in some of its stuff like that. I mean, that's sort of a subjective, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I think that might be tricky. Like, I think that is part of the, you know, whether or not you agree with it. I'm sure it's something they're considering when they're, you know, just like they considered the Triforce thing.
Yeah, it's a matter of how much work they're going to put into it, I think, is the question.
Yeah,
because I mean, I don't know if they can. I think, like, my thoughts are it might be left best as is.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you just don't revisit it.
Oh, just...
That's, like, part of me is thinking that way, because I'm thinking it might hurt its legacy if it's just a port. Like Twilight Princess HD, for all intents and purposes, is a port.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an upgraded visuals.
Or, like, it's not like they really changed...
No.
A whole lot. Like, the game feels like what you remember it, basically.
Yeah. I mean, Wind Waker, you can argue, was a little... They did a little more with it.
Mm-hmm.
And Majora's Mask, you probably could argue that a little. But if you never played Twilight Princess HD, and you only played Twilight Princess on the GameCube or Switch, or on the Wii, I can say you're not missing much. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah.
Would you agree with that with all of the remakes?
Like, you're not missing, like, don't go back sort of thing?
Like, if somebody came to you and said, hey, I was thinking about picking up Twilight Princess on the Wii U. What are your thoughts? Or
well, yeah, sure.
Would you like strongly recommend it?
I don't think any of the remakes I wouldn't recommend if someone was trying to check them out. But I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay. I wouldn't suggest to somebody like, hey, I'm thinking about picking up Twilight Princess. What are your thoughts on it? I'm like, if it was like one of your favorite games if it was one of your favorite games,
mm-hmm.
and you want to revisit it, go ahead. Because it's the definitive version of the game.
Oh, I see.
If you've never played it before, go ahead. If you're kind of lukewarm about it, it's not worth it.
Okay.
Because it's the same game. You're not getting anything new.
Like you've played it before, but you're not. You're like half interested, basically.
Well, somebody who played it and beat it once, in 2006 or 7, mm-hmm. and hasn't touched it since.
Right. Okay. So you're saying it's like oh, I get you. I get what you're saying. Okay. Like, it's, hey, I was whatever on this game. Do you think this will improve it in a way that
Right.
significantly will change my experience?
Yes.
Kind of like how people, well, like Andy was saying, he's never played Wind Waker HD. He likes the game, but he's never played the HD version. And people said, "Oh, you'll probably enjoy it even a little bit more."
Andy's never played the HD version?
Yeah. And he was saying,
Okay.
he's saying he's going to revisit it soon, and he's not negative about it like some
Okay.
people are, but he was saying, people are saying you're probably going to like it a little bit more than you thought because some of the improvements.
Yes.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I'm on board now.
Twilight Princess in particular just doesn't change.
Yeah.
Is there any quality of life improvements?
The little stuff. You know what,
Changing
though?
to the wolf because you can just tap the gamepad?
Yeah, that's not significant. I mean, you know what? I'm playing through it, and one thing, I think this is like it in the original, but there's like 3 different menu buttons.
Okay.
So sometimes I'm like, I want to check the map. I hit start. I'm like, oh, that's the inventory. And I hit like down on the D-pad, and I'm like, oh, that's to like save and look at your collection.
Is this a problem, you think?
It has been this time specifically. I find it obnoxious. Like in Ocarina of Time, plenty of times I think, oh, I want to look at something in my inventory. I hit start and I hit a button to scroll over. It would be one thing. There's like a lot of games now where you have a map button where it brings you to the map. But it is within your inventory.
Okay.
So if you hit start, it'll bring you to your items, or select, it'll bring you to your map. But you're still going to the same inventory, and you can switch between. I find it so obnoxious that it's like separate buttons. Sometimes I'm like, it's a big thing when I want to save.
Okay.
I hit start because I think you pause it, you hit save. In this, it's like you have to hit the down button to go to your collection, which is not your inventory.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with if you want to read your letters. It's not you hit start and go to the letter. Why is that? To me, it's not a quality. I don't think it's different than the original, but to me, it's like it's even worse for some reason that it's in this game.
So I'm about I don't know 900 hours into Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And I still always hit the wrong buttons when I'm trying to get to my, like, how do I get to see what picture I've taken with my camera ruin?
Okay.
Is that in my
Yeah.
like?
Yeah.
Because there's 3 things on the map, and then there's 3 things on your inventory. Like your inventory has the memories. Your map has the memories, and your camera ruin. And if you want to sense something to the Sheikah sensor, but
yeah.
Like if you want to, but that's not in your inventory. If you want to add something to your Sheikah sensor, so it's like also when I'm trying to change like my bow and arrow in the middle of a battle,
Yeah,
that never goes over well.
That's more of an issue of there just being so many things, and it's not like,
yes,
I don't view it as like, oh, they could have done this better or something.
Yeah,
I just think like there's a lot to remember. I mean, maybe someday they'll come up with a better thing, and it's like, oh, why didn't they do this all along?
Yeah, there's a big learning curve to play Breath of the Wild. I'm still learning it. I'll get it eventually.
Yeah, so I don't know what the deal with Skyward Sword.
What's the deal?
What is the deal? Like, yeah, I don't know what to expect with that. I think one day it'll come out. Because I think people will buy it and play it.
So I think in order to really satisfy enough people to warrant its existence, it needs to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
I think so. Not remade, but like rebuilt. I think they need to change so many things, I think, to modernize it. And I'm not sure if it's worth that time. Like maybe it's better off just spent leaving it as is and let its reputation hold as is now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the idea of like maybe like it's probably too much to like put a ton of work into, but I think it might be worth it for the fans there are of that game to just do an updated port where it'll look nicer.
Do you think Nintendo was worried about? Because Nintendo, think of all the people that have never played games like Wind Waker, or when I say this, I mean Breath of the Wild has sold 14 million copies.
Mm-hmm.
Wind Waker on the GameCube, I think, sold 3. And on the Wii U, I think it sold another, like, 2.
Mm-hmm.
And of which probably 1.5 million of those people are the exact same people that bought it again. Yeah. Meaning there's like 5 million people that have played Wind Waker, and there's like 15 million people that have played Breath of the Wild. It's probably more than that, because that's just copies of games, but more than one people play a particular, because it gets traded and brothers and siblings.
Sure.
What I'm saying is there's probably 3, maybe 4 times as many people that have played Breath of the Wild than Skyward Sword.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, think of all those people that have never played the series, or they've never played anything in the series other than this. So it's like their only experience is Breath of the Wild, and that's like, now Link's Awakening came out. I don't think that harms or hurts or helps the series, like, to those players.
Yeah,
but I'd be worried that might alienate. I don't know if alienate's the right word, but like, I wonder what that would do to other fans of the series.
Oh, if Skyward Sword came out?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I think a lot of people viewed Link's Awakening as like, hey, here's this opportunity to, if see what a classic Zelda game is like.
Right. Yes, but I don't think that's not a controversial game. There's nothing controversial about Link's Awakening. There's no split audience. Is there anybody who thinks Link's Awakening is a miserable video game?
Yeah, I don't think so. But I think, like, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people who, like, I don't think, it's like Skyward Sword is controversial, but I don't think, like, people who don't like it are going to be offended by it being remade. You know what I mean? It's like, this is for fans of Skyward Sword, you know what I mean? It's like, if you don't like it, it's like, I just think you're not going to play it,
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to take it as a personal slight. I don't think. I mean, I'm sure some people will, but the original, what was miserable? Skyward Sword?
I think.
Oh, the original Link's Awakening. Yeah, no, the original Link's Awakening is not miserable. It's pretty great. That was another thing we talked about, was really going to remake the Oracles.
Who made it? Oh, it's a lot. Nobody over the age of 12 takes Elias serious.
Oh my god. I don't for the Oracles, I don't see them doing it the same way.
Oh, as just like a straight, it I don't know. I feel it would just
nice Elias. I think.
Did I say 12?
Yeah, you said over 12.
Okay.
No one under 12. Well, yeah. If you are 12, you take Elias very seriously.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Well, so when we did our video about that, I was sort of the opinion that, like, the Link's Awakening art style they picked for the game made sense with how they were trying to reimagine that specific game.
Okay.
And even though I do feel like, yeah, maybe it took away a little bit some of the magic or some of the mystery of that game, some of the exclusivity of, it's this old Game Boy game.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that art style helps it feel like unique and kind of captures the essence a little bit of the old game.
Mm-hmm.
And even though the Oracle games literally use like a lot of the same assets
right.
of Link's Awakening, they do not feel like the same game or
Yes.
in the same world at all. They have a totally different vibe.
Yes, I agree completely.
They actually feel to me, they're unique in their own ways, but they feel to me more like a classic Zelda in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like, definitely with their own spin, but they feel more. They have more of the vibe of, maybe it's just because of the overworld music, but it feels more like A Link to the Past or something. You know what I mean? In terms of like the Zelda nature of it, whereas like Link's Awakening feels like this really weird, surreal type world. So I don't think using that same art style necessarily would work for that. I mean, it would be whatever. It would be cool, but I think they would.
No, I think it would further amplify the current view of those particular games too, as like, oh, we already did this, like these. Oh, it's like when if you describe Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons to somebody who's never played Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, but they've played Link's Awakening, like you're obviously going to make some sort of connection between these games.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but that would further amplify it if.
Yeah, people kind of lump them all together when they're actually a bit more unique. Corey is saying Link's Awakening feels intentionally toy-like, whereas it's trying to think of. I mean, it's a small game, and that's one thing I've noticed more now going back to it is, wow, it is on this tiny screen, which I think is really charming about it. Even the original, I'm like, everything does feel small, and so they're trying to, how do we get that out of a Switch game? Especially now that the screen scrolls and everything. Mm-hmm. That automatically, which the Oracles don't have. They have the screen scrolling.
Yes.
So, they definitely
not in the overworld actually, only in the dungeons.
In the dungeons, yeah. Well, so with Link's Awakening, they went with a style that was kind of trying to hype or like play into how small scale that game is, whereas I feel like the Oracles are still small scale, but part of the thing with them was like playing like, wow, this is like Link's Awakening on steroids a little bit, juiced up,
Yeah, well, it advanced the gameplay.
Yeah, it advanced it. So like, to me, that's I think you would need to change it, do something maybe more traditional even with the style, or even something new. I don't know what it would be, but I haven't thought that much about it.
Squishy slipper.
16 viewers.
Oh, I get it. I had to think about that.
Okay, so yeah, we talked about all those in our predictions. And then before E3, they announced something we just totally did not see at all. It wasn't even, I think one thing we said is like, and they might do some other thing.
Yeah.
We don't know what though. And I guess maybe the some other thing turned out to be Cadence of Hyrule, right?
Yeah.
No one could have seen that coming, I don't think.
And I know you love that game.
I do love that game.
What did you think of the DLC?
I haven't gotten to play it yet. I've been a little too busy.
Okay, are you excited about playing it?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get into that. I think that's fun, and it's free, isn't it? Is it free?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think that's cool. Because that's a game I think I've said it before where, because I ranked it really high on my best Zelda ever, and part of it was just thinking like, yeah, because it's a game, it's something that was like why I started to love like the original Legend of Zelda so much more, is that whenever it's like, oh, I could start up another game of that right now and just immediately into the action and having a good time. No, I don't have to like herd goats for 2 hours.
Yeah,
which love goat herding, but so that's what appeals to me about it. And now the fact that next time I go to it, there's another little thing for me to like try out. It's like I already have like wanted to replay the game.
Okay.
And this just gives me like another reason to like mess around with it some more.
So I haven't actually played the game like crazy amounts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I probably played, I don't know, 15 hours of it maybe. Well, actually, I probably can check. Probably even less than that, maybe 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And they announced the DLC, and like I was like, I didn't do anything the other day. I'm like, oh, should I? And like part of me was like, you know what? It's not even. It's like, I just played this a few months ago. I don't want to play it.
Really?
Maybe in a few years I'll be like, oh, remember that game that came out? But,
sure.
It doesn't do it for me.
That's all right. I can understand though that it's like a very specific type of game. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it
I remember repeatedly like wanting to kill every enemy on the screen just so I can run across the screen, like out of
yeah. I remember thinking that at moments, but for me it was like every screen. It's one of those. It's totally different, obviously, but it makes me think of like, if you're not down with the controls of Skyward Sword, like you're just not having a good time in that game.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you're not down with the active rhythm movement of cadence, like you're just every screen is just gonna be just gonna want to get it done with. But for me, it's like after like an hour and a half or so, I locked in with that gameplay so much that like I wanted to go to every screen and clear it out. You know, just not because I wanted to get through it, but because it was like I was kind of addicted to the rhythm. You know.
Yeah.
That sounds like a song. Addicted to the rhythm.
Let the rhythm take you over.
Here,
Bailamos.
I like this. The misrepresentation of your.
I don't think that was even what I said. I think it was cadence. Doesn't do it for me.
I've hit a roadblock here a little bit.
Oh, why don't you work on the mountain?
The mountain? Because it's like just a bunch of brown.
What do you think I've been doing?
Okay, I'll try.
Let's go right here.
Oh, there you go. You might have helped me there a little bit.
Yeah, just.
Okay, well, so I mean, if it's not for you, it's one of those things where it's like, there's not much I can say as a, as like a counter argument. Like, no, it's actually good because this, like, it's just like.
Let me be clear. I didn't think, even at the time, I didn't think anything was bad.
Yeah, no, totally.
I think we can. Like, I'm probably naturally more pessimistic than you.
Yeah.
But. I don't think I loved it but I definitely didn't dislike it. So I don't want to give that vibe that I didn't think it was good.
Oh yeah, no.
But it was just like I'm not ready to replay this game.
Yeah, totally.
I was more interested in hour number 900 something of Breath of the Wild than hour 12 of.
Well, so I mean, but one thing I think we agree on is just the concept of it is really cool. Like an indie studio being given the Zelda property, and what that could mean going like.
I would like to, like, I want to see that, but a classic Zelda game.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. That like give the license to sort of like with Capcom, but nowadays you don't need Capcom anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean by that. I mean
you can use a smaller studio.
Yeah, that can be more inventive, more.
Yeah, I would like to see it both ways. Like I would love to see more spin-off stuff too. That's like not just some obscure thing, like much like Hyrule Warriors, which for me was a game I just don't care about, but I think it's cool, that it exists. So,
but this goes to like something that was. The latest Champions cast, they were talking about the last decade of Zelda. Did you listen to that episode?
I haven't gotten a chance yet. Sorry, Andy.
Okay, but like it's like one of those things. Like when you think of the Zelda games that came out this decade, like I'll run through the entire list real quick.
Yeah, well,
like all right, Ocarina of Time. There's nothing in 2010, if I recall correctly. That was the first year there was absolutely nothing. And then, all right, we got 2011, we got Four Swords Anniversary, We got Ocarina of Time 3D, so we got 2 remakes.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Skyward Sword is a brand new game. So we get Skyward Sword, and then 2013 comes and we get Wind Waker HD, a remake, and A Link Between Worlds. Not a remake, but like not a full new game either.
Well, I guess, yeah.
Like it's not like they just used the. I mean, it's the same. It's just not. It's a good game. I'm not gonna downgrade it though.
Yeah.
Okay, but then what happens after that? 2014, well, we get Hyrule Warriors. 2015, we get Majora's Mask, a remake. 2016, we get Twilight Princess, a remake.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and then we get Link's Awakening, a remake. Like,
yeah.
When you think of the last decade, we've gotten 3, and then Triforce Heroes, sort of like this spin-off as well. Like, how many new Zelda games did we really get this decade?
Sure.
And compare that to last decade. Last decade, we got Aegis Seasons, Majora's Mask, Aegis Seasons, Wind Waker, Minish Cap, Twilight Princess, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks. We had 8 games, and that doesn't even count Four Swords Adventures.
Right. So what happened?
It's like we went from 8 games to like 3 games because there was so many remakes.
Well, yeah, and I guess it also helped that we did have like Capcom. You know,
they made 2 of them. Oh, they made 3
of them. 3
games.
Yeah.
They made the Minish Cap.
Yeah, so
those Capcom Zelda games.
All those Capcom Zelda games. Those filthy Capcom Zelda games.
What does Andy think about those Capcom Zelda games?
Yeah, so it's cool. It's cool that, I mean, as much as it is like, oh, we didn't get a lot of new Zelda games, I think the idea that we can get a lot of different types of new Zelda games is exciting, at least.
Yeah, that was what the big thing about this decade was, because we had Hyrule Warriors, and it's like 7 different subsequent releases.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Triforce Heroes, I think, was just so radically different. I wouldn't say radically different, but I mean, it would. And then we had Cadence.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, they're the standard, and like even the existing Zelda games are so different now.
Yeah, even the new Zelda game was a different type of game.
Yeah.
So it's a different world that we live in. You know what? This mountain was coming together better than I thought I would be able to do.
Well, there's only like 12 pieces to it.
Well, you know, it's intimidating.
You're getting stranded on the mountain. Sounds like a Jamie problem.
Oh yeah. So I mean, we didn't think. Speaking of some other predictions, I mean, we didn't think they would announce, or we weren't really so certain they would announce like the Breath of the Wild sequel or whatever. But you know, here we are. So that was pretty cool, I guess. I mean, they confirmed what people already knew. Like, we're making another Zelda game.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, can't complain, I guess.
Well, specifically, the sequel.
Yeah, I guess that did say a lot, that it's like, that makes a statement that it's this specific Zelda game.
There are 550 pieces to this puzzle. Although the puzzle, as I gave my pre-release review of the puzzle, there's a lot, like, look what I've been, can you see? You can totally see in the side screen, bottom left, like,
it's all one color, basically.
Yeah. Well, there's shades. There's definitely shades of purple here. But this is a tough puzzle not tough, but it's a stupid puzzle. This is the Triforce Heroes of Zelda puzzles.
Oh my god. It's going hard on.
Although, you know what? Locke and Ashton have both gotten Triforce Heroes, and we're planning our next playthrough of it.
Oh, exciting.
I'm actually kind of
You get to play it the way it was intended.
I'm excited about revisiting the game. I started revisiting it a few months ago, and I played through the first world and like part of the second world, and I don't know what I have.
Single player. It's not the ideal experience.
It's not even ideal is not the right word, because there are, I think, Four Swords Adventures ideally is not a single player game. Yeah, but it's fine. You could play it single player, and it's a good experience.
Sure.
I don't even think it's a video game. I was joking around, but like I think Zelda's Adventure is more fun to play than
Jeez.
Because that game is atrocious, and it's fundamentally broken on so many levels. But single player, it's better than Triforce Heroes playing single player. I think I can stand by that too. I think you know what? I think if you played both of those all the way through, I think you'd agree with me. I think you're a pretty rational human being.
Okay, I'll take it. I didn't when they were talking about writing blurbs for best Zelda ever. I actually don't remember how the conversation went, but there was some talk of like, what if we had Wand of Gamelon on here or something. Like someone made a joke about writing a blurb for that, because it's like everyone, they have the different opinions, so negative, positive, and they're like, who's gonna, write a positive thing about this? And I was like, well, you could probably write a blurb about how it's one of the most like important Zelda games, like culturally, not like the most, but it's, like on average on the internet, what do you think gets referenced more, like Wand of Gamelon memes or like the Minish Cap? You know what I mean? Like,
oh right, yeah,
I think they're
it's more important than the Minish Cap.
Like, not necessarily, but maybe. Like, all I mean for there's like a lot of people out there like that, like the like random like YouTube nonsense.
YouTube poop, is it?
All the YouTube poops centered around that, like, is like some people's like only connection to Zelda. So, I mean, not to say that like you couldn't weigh that against like the impact of like Ocarina of Time or something, but you know what I mean. It's like, yeah.
Stonlex, what are your thoughts on just the solo of Triforce Heroes?
Wow.
Because he has zero experience with the multiplayer.
Triforce Heroes I have not played much, so it's I don't think it's very appealing, but you do you if you're a fan. I'm starting to get somewhere. What else? What do we predict? Anything else this year? I think that was it. I think that was all the big stuff.
What did you watch back our video about what our goals were?
Oh yeah, I did do that too. So we did our New Year's resolutions, like what do we want to play in Zelda this coming year, and I guess my takeaway from it was like I can't really make those claims because like when it comes time, it's like one thing I said that it was before I had my games for the marathon is like I get surprised with like a game that is like, oh, I'm just good at this game now. So like years ago I had beaten Legend of Zelda once and I like hobbled my way to the end using a guide. Now I'm not an expert at it, but like I could impress like a casual friend.
The ladies.
Yeah, I can impress the ladies. Like I could sit down and be like, watch, I could beat this game in an hour, and people would be like, I could never even beat a dungeon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like A Link Between Worlds I learned this year to play competently. But I guess like what I mean is like I can't really say like I want to play this game this year because something else comes up that I have to play that's more important,
Like new games.
new Cadence of Hyrule comes out, or other video games too, but also stuff for the marathon. Like, I really don't have time to. I'm playing like 3 Zelda games right now. I also don't want to dive into Spirit Tracks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a game I think that was like our main game we said was Spirit Tracks, actually.
Yeah.
Like, we want to revisit it.
It's still on my list.
Me too. So
I think I will play it once I'm done with my this project will never end.
Oh, your Breath of the Wild thing?
I'm working.
That's just like your new like life sport.
It's work. It really is. I'm just working on like wiki articles, and I'm like halfway done though.
Okay.
I think I've written articles for like 150 NPCs, probably like 200 locations.
I mean, what sort of pace are you on? You know what I mean? Like,
I look at the map. Yeah, I showed you the map. I crossed the halfway point in number of Koroks I have. So
okay.
The actual literal landscape.
Yeah. Ooh, there we go. Navi is complete.
Where is this blue? This is the top left corner, I think.
Could be. But I think so. I'm definitely not gonna set any like specific like I want to play this year.
Okay.
Also because I'm gonna try and see if I can do this. There are some games I probably don't need to, but with our definitive ranking,
yes,
we're ranking a game a month, and so I think with that deadline, it pushes me a little bit more. Like I 2 years ago, I replayed through the Oracles, and that was just easy because they're short.
Mm-hmm.
But it was sort of like the thought of like starting up Spirit Tracks was like not fun to me. Like, okay. I just know, I don't even remember what happens in the beginning, but I just know it's a 2000 Zelda game. There's tons of tutorials.
You know, it's not that bad, actually.
Okay.
There's definitely, I mean, there's a lot of story early on.
Yeah. That's I mean,
it's actually a good, I think, story.
Yeah, that's
I mean, there's
cool.
parts where you have to sneak Zelda out of the castle early on, and there's like that whole stealth mission early on. But I know what you mean.
But giving myself the deadline and sort of like a lens that I'm viewing the game under makes it more fun. Like, because the thought of playing the beginning of Twilight Princess even is like never fun, but I do it every year.
Okay.
But when I was playing it to kind of do it for this video, it became a fun project. You know what I mean? Like, and it sort of has. I'm at the end of the game, or like I'm at Palace of Twilight, and I'm kind of struggling to want to finish it, but I'm going to. It's not like that bad, but like that propelled me through a lot of the game. Was like, like, oh, I'm looking at it this way, and so that's been fun. So I think that's sort of my resolution this year is, well, I'm going to learn my games to the marathon, and I'm going to try to play the game we talk about every month, because I also want to give them all fair shakes.
A new look, yeah.
Like, it was one thing trying to rate Spirit Tracks when we did our list, like based on like my memory of almost 10 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, and I was pretty, I'm pretty low when I rank it, but when it comes around, I actually do want to play it again,
right? Just
to kind of like, really get a fresh perspective and not like what I think the game is or how I remember it,
Yeah.
So that's my, I don't know. I think, another resolution you had was because we were doing our warfare for Wind Waker, and you were sort of saying like you wanted to just casually or like 100% the game again.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like that's probably a thing anymore, right?
No. I think one of those things with that video we made, it's kind of like the here and now kind of resolution. You don't really I didn't resolution, like, I don't really make too many New Year's. I don't. Do you do New Year's resolutions every?
No. It's, for me, it's sort of arbitrary, but if you want to set goals or whatever, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, we made that video with the sense of like, what do we want to do this year?
Yeah,
but it's not like, what am I going to do this year? Does that make sense?
Yeah, we're not like holding ourselves to it necessarily.
Right. Yeah. So I was never. I don't know if the word committed is the right word to it.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, it's just a thing.
Sure.
If I do it, I do it. If he dies, he dies.
Sure. We'll go with that.
Some was
Rambo?
no, Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, yeah. Rocky, sorry. Yeah, so
I think it's time to get this. What's this guy, by the way? This guy's bothering me.
This
looks like Link's hand somewhere. Or is this right here?
Oh, that's what I've been looking for, that piece for a while. What do you think this is?
Let me see. This is Lon Lon Ranch.
Is it? Okay, I got that going over here. Oh! Wow, you are solving big piece. That's like a bird.
This is the bird that's up here.
It's somewhere here.
This is gonna...
Things are really coming together, though.
I'm a like I said, I'm a puzzle connoisseur. Is that a word?
Yeah.
The weapon connoisseur.
Yeah, that's my big thing for this year. Is I'm just excited to like rank all these games again. It's so fun to do.
I'm really excited about that video actually coming out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
Have you started thinking about your opinions, or don't want to spoil it or anything? But
yeah, I've been thinking about playing the game for.
You got to take that Breath of the Wild break to play some Twilight Princess.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna get around to it. I'm running out of time.
Yeah, I'm excited to see.
But I feel just Twilight Princess is a game that, because like Rachel has played that game like 10,000 times on the stream.
Mm-hmm.
So I see it on the Zelda right here on Twitch all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've been playing it. I feel like I've been playing it vicariously.
Yeah, I've sort of like given you some of my impressions too. So like,
yeah,
you probably already have
I will
thought
play
about it.
Some of it for sure.
I need some. You got some pieces over there with flowers on them.
What are you doing here?
I'm right now. I'm just like trying to put some of these flowers together. Maybe.
You know, you should. Let me see. What are we doing? Does this guy connect to?
Now let's see.
Yeah, this guy's part. Oh no, this guy's part of this too. Let's connect that.
Okay, sure.
You know what I would try doing? You see the pink right above Lon Lon Ranch?
Yeah.
So
the pink mountains.
The dark pink.
Oh, look at that.
This is more moss boring stuff. But
yeah, this is more in your ballpark, but I'll try.
But there's not that many of the pieces. There's only like 30 of them.
I'm glad that 19 people are watching this.
Like those guys all go.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this is good.
That's good.
Good material.
That's good material. Oh, we got the castle there too. That should go right here, I think.
Is it? I don't think that. Oh, that's definitely right there.
Oh.
Okay.
That's good stuff. You guys.
Where are we at? We're at 5:10, so we're about an hour in. I think we'll be done in an hour.
All right. Wait, it's 5:10 right now?
Yep.
All right.
I was so confident. We got our staff meeting after this.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you're aware of that. But,
it's for the marathon?
Yeah, and I scheduled it knowing we were doing this stream too. But I'm like, yeah, we'll be fine.
No, we got this. We're on the ball.
I've done so many of these puzzles recently that I've got like the estimated times.
That's something.
That's very marathonish too.
Well, yeah. What do you think about the decade of Zelda, though? Kind of a weird one, kind of a down one, or?
No, well, I was giving some of my opinions when they were like creating the agenda for that. For the discussion, they asked my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the highs and lows? And there were some things that like I'll give an example that I didn't think this was that big of a deal at the time, but now when I think about it now, it's the symphony concert.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Like when you think back at the decade, because that was one of those things that stood out to me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it goes along with my whole thing with like this decade. seem more so of like I feel like in the previous decade, the series had kind of like stagnated a little bit as far as like new concepts and stuff.
Okay.
And like I feel like the like majority of this decade until the last couple years was more about like reflecting on Zelda. There's all the remakes, you know what I mean? Like or stuff like Hyrule Warriors is like this big nostalgia mashup, and the same like the symphonies was like, I mean, it had the new songs too, but it was like, come relive these old classic musics.
Yeah.
Musics.
Musics.
And Hyrule Historia, we're wrapping up we're putting like closing the book on the timeline basically.
Yeah.
Like it felt like
Zelda's done.
Zelda is over. Like no one talks about that anymore. So
Zelda's dead. That's what I kept saying. Remember when before Breath of the Wild came out?
Yeah, Breath of the Wild was like the I feel like the period on the end of the like we've like reflected on all of past Zelda. Like you don't get to talk about the timeline anymore. The only thing you get to talk about is where does Breath of the Wild fit, and figure that out. But everything else, here you go,
Right.
And so that's, I mean, the symphony I feel like is sort of in that ballpark. Is like you love these classic songs, you get to come live out your memories, and they were great. I went to 2 of them with you.
Did you go to 2 with me?
Yeah, we went to one in Chicago and one in Milwaukee.
Okay. I saw it 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, man.
I don't remember if I saw it 4 or 5 times.
Did you see it like basically every opportunity?
I saw it once in Chicago, twice in Chicago, but then it came a 3rd time, and I don't remember if I saw it. I think I did. God, they kind of blur. I remember I went with you. Did I just go with you?
And Mikey.
Was Jason there?
I think some other people you knew went, but they went separately. Like, I think we talked to them in the lobby or something.
Okay. I know I went with Andrew once. And then I went, I think I went 3 times in Chicago. Then I went to Atlanta and I went to Milwaukee.
No, they definitely played Skyward Sword music because it was like with Skyward Sword, that's when Hyrule Historia came out, and that's where this came out, and it was all about like 25th anniversary of Zelda. You know what I mean? It was like we're really celebrating the legacy of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they had, because that's where you got that sick Ballad of the Goddess version that we all love.
But like when I think about it now, the symphony concert, because like I don't think I appreciated it as much at the time, but it's like
Sure.
the idea of going to the concert today, and it's like you're literally surrounded entirely by people who specifically like the Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of, I mean, it's not niche, but you know what I mean. It's a specific thing.
It's incredibly specific in the sense of a symphony concert.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I remember I actually did a write up about it. I reviewed it for the site at the time.
Oh, okay.
But we took some pictures. I remember we took pictures of people in cosplay from the cartoon. There was like a Pig Ganon and like Link from the cartoon.
Yeah. That
we got pictures with. Like that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And it was like you wouldn't see. I mean, I guess now you can see that at like maybe like a Comic-Con or something. You maybe see some of the meme Zelda stuff there, but that was kind of, I was like, wow, I never.
It's a little unreal. Like,
yeah, I just never thought I would like see that.
Yeah. And it's just like so. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. That feeling though. But the idea of going to another one was awesome to me. And I hope it comes back. I think I would go see it every single time it comes. Like, you know, every 3 months I go see the Zelda Symphony concert. That might be a little much, but I think you know what I mean.
I feel like it'll come back.
Yes, I know it will. I have insider information on that.
What? Yeah, so that was like that was a big part of the decade.
That's like when you know you've made it. You have a symphony concert about your franchise.
Oh, sure.
I mean, how many other franchises have had?
Oh, there's I know
Actually, I
there's
think that's
Final
becoming more of a thing
Fantasy. I feel like I've seen like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars have it. They've had it for a while. Yeah, it's actually more of a thing now. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
See, what are some other standouts from the decade?
So I think those books we talked about,
Yeah.
like, it's become. This is kind of like. Andy touched upon this too, but like Zelda, I think before this decade, had always been like Nintendo's second or third franchise, or maybe fourth franchise. I would say. Well, definitely after Mario and Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's gotten. This is really it took off with Breath of the Wild, obviously, but now it's a mega franchise again.
Yeah.
It's their. Like I think it has surpassed. I don't know if I want to say surpassed Mario because like even Mario Odyssey has done better than Breath of the Wild.
It's tempting to say it, but
like I feel like it's more important. It's their most important franchise now.
Yeah.
Like when they announce the Switch sequel or something, it's I mean, it's like that's like the biggest. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm a Zelda fan. I don't know if Mario fans are as passionate as Zelda fans are.
Any Mario fans out there? Kinda?
Like I think there's like a lot. There's a lot.
Well, it makes me think again of like the like Candy Crush thing I was saying, where it feels like Mario games are just gonna get bought en masse by more people. You know what I mean? But I think the core fan base isn't like as diehard as Zelda fans. So it always just feels bigger to us because that's what we know.
Okay. Yeah. It could be that. But
it's a big deal, no doubt.
But I just feel like Zelda is so like it started just fading into obscurity a little bit, where it was just going through the motions with its releases, where it was like
that's what I had felt like. It's kind of like I feel like you knew you could be like, if you like Zelda, you'll probably like this game.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of the same things, you know.
And I think that extends all the way through like A Link Between Worlds. Okay, like that's still in this decade, but
yeah,
was that a good game? Yeah, it was fantastic.
I love that game.
Is it pushing the envelope to making this series like one of the greatest series in?
It flirted with it, but I mean it's got some cool new stuff for sure. But yeah. Like it's not on the same level as what Breath of the Wild was doing.
Yeah, like when Twilight Princess came out, did it? I don't know. Like maybe it's a different time now. Where it's kind of revisionist history at this point. But this is definitely with these guys. This bird is coming together.
Got this one piece that's just tripping me up.
You be tripping?
Yeah.
Is this guy connect right here?
Wait, so we were talking about the books?
Oh, okay. We're all connected here. Should we start forming this together as one puzzle now instead of pieces?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move this guy out for a second.
Okay.
Let's just move these guys down here. All of this nonsense. Maybe move these guys. Ooh, more birds.
Oh, I love the birds.
This is like a very unorthodox way of doing a puzzle.
Because we didn't.
It's gonna all come together now.
Oh, there you go. So this is gonna be down here.
Yeah. Don't worry about these guys.
Okay.
Actually, is that guy done?
Yeah. Well, I don't know exactly where it's gonna be.
It doesn't connect in with this guy yet?
No, I think it's like somewhere, maybe even that.
Okay. I'm going to start working on the... I want to take a break from this nonsense.
Okay. I'm gonna maybe try to put the bottom together.
Okay, let's see. What do we got? We got a bit of a yellow brick road by the feet. Well, this looks like something with Epona. Oh, this is the tail. Where's Epona? Oh, right there.
Yeah, look at that sky. So I mean, I had saw in the chat in the Discord that like Andy cut a promo on like the timeline.
Cut a promo.
Because that was something I felt like was a big thing with the Hyrule Historia and stuff.
You know what? I like it. What I'm disappointed in is the Breath of the Wild part. Like,
I'm the opposite.
it was totally unnecessary to make it ambiguous. I'm not saying it needed to be like you need to like cross every T and dot every I, but like it just kind of throws the whole thing away. Hyrule Historia didn't ruin the timeline, I don't think. Because
I think the more and more we get away from it, the more I think. Well, I kind of think it doesn't matter as much now because it's too late. But I think it sort of did because I think that part of what got me into the community back in the day was going and reading everyone's posts on how do you think all these games fit together, and knowing that these games don't logically make sense together. Like it's just not. It's kind of nonsense to try and put them together, I think, but it's fun. And that was like part of the appeal to me was like, oh, what's everyone's pieces of evidence, and it really was a fun thing for the community to do. I
Right.
think Nintendo took that away a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that was a mistake, and I think even maybe they might realize that because I like that we're back to now, like we have the positive I think about it at least is that we've kind of like wiped the board fresh a little bit, and so now it's like we can do it again. And I hope that they don't announce where Breath of the Wild fits because they
kind of have, and it's not possible for it to fit everywhere. It's just not possible.
No, they haven't announced it. They just said, hey, that was not what they announced. They said it's up to your interpretation of where it fits.
They've like purposely made it ambiguous.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I think is good about it is that they've kind of given it back to let people come up with their ideas again themselves. They put it back in the hands of the fans, I think. This is not fitting right.
This is not connected, remember. So
Yeah, okay.
It's probably this guy right here.
Yeah, same thing here. Timeline theorizing, pre-Skyward Sword is what brought me. That's exactly how I was too. Not doing it myself necessarily, because people would always point out these very specific things that I was like, that I'm not a lore person, so I don't necessarily care myself personally. I just would think that stuff was interesting,
when it comes to the when Hyrule Historia came out, like one of the things with the timeline. So I've been around for a little bit, for a minute, and I remember like thinking about the storylines at the time, and when there were only like 6 games. This is when I got into the series, like into the online community. So this was before Oracle of Ages and Seasons came out. It's like when you think of the timeline at that point.
Yeah.
Well,
it's very straightforward.
Well, it was like, all right, Legend of Zelda came out, and then Adventure of Link came out. Oh, this is a sequel.
Yeah, this is 2 right there in the title.
Yeah. And then A Link to the Past came out, and this is Yeah, this is further down in the. That was a sequel, right?
Link to the Past.
Where's a Link to the Past fit in with?
It? I think they said somewhere that it was the Descendants. I think it was a prequel, wasn't it? They said, "Oh yeah, this was the
Right.
Descendants of."
There was that infamous Dan Osen quote, or it was the Miyamoto. There's like some quotes from one guy who's like, and it misinterpreted things, where all the evidence pointed one way, but then there was one quote that, somebody said.
Okay.
But anyway, there was no conflict. But then, like when Ocarina of Time came out, and Link's Awakening was sometime after Link to the Past.
Yeah, it was this sequel or whatever. Yeah.
And then Ocarina of Time came out, and everybody, like, there was, because A Link to the Past has a pretty elaborate backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was thinking that the backstory in A Link to the Past is what was being told or sort of rethought of in Ocarina of Time.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thought of, there was the Seal War or the Imprisoning War, whatever you want to call it. Like, that is what was being discussed in the backstory of A Link to the Past, and that's what was happening in Ocarina of Time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it since didn't exactly go that way, but that was always the case. There was no doubt in anybody's mind
that was the Seal War origins or something.
That they were connected, at least.
Yeah.
That A Link to the Past was a sequel to Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
And then what happened is they just kept adding more games. And that fact then it was like, oh, Majora's Mask came out. Oh, what's Majora's Mask? Oh, this is a sequel to Ocarina of Time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, no big deal. That's a direct sequel. But then Wind Waker came out. Where does this one fit? Oh, this is a sequel to Ocarina of Time. Oh. It's like, but how... Okay. All right, but now we have two sequels. Well, it doesn't really matter because Majora's Mask is directly after.
Mm-hmm.
And then Twilight Princess comes out, and it's like, oh, where is this? Oh, this is a sequel to Ocarina. And like, how many damn sequels to Ocarina of Time are we making?
Right.
When A Link to the Past in Ocarina of Time, this was already a prequel.
Yeah.
So now we have 4 games that are the sequel to Ocarina of Time. But it's like the fact that A Link to the Past was like Ocarina of Time was a prequel, kind of just went away for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then Hyrule Story came, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, this is still a sequel to Ocarina.
Yeah.
But they just retconned it a little bit with this is the Downfall timeline.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, but...
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think, like, I don't like the idea of, like, the future where they get to where now, okay, we tell you where Breath of the Wild is, because from like a meta perspective, when they're like, it's sort of up to the interpretation or whatever, for you to figure it out, but they leave it open, like, well, we can change it if we want. I think that almost works in the game too, because like you see things from different games, and people have like their different stories, histories that only tie into specific games, and I almost like the idea of like everything pre Breath of the Wild kind of being like the different timelines being like different kind of like how people used to say like some of the games are just different tellings of the same legend,
right?
But like I think Locke had like a 2 timeline theory that was like one was what really happened and one was like an interpretation of that, but throughout a timeline.
Okay.
I like to think of like the past of Breath of the Wild and it having these different elements are like different, like people, like the different cultures in the game almost have like their own interpretation of the story, So
okay.
Like why do they talk about Princess Ruta here, but you know what I mean, like, which I think mirrors almost how like history in real life is. It's not, we have fragments of things. We don't know exactly how certain specific things went down. So everyone, like, different people have their, they view certain aspects of history differently.
Right.
So I kind of like that. I think they should stick with that, keeping it more open-ended and ambiguous. you can make a sequel to Breath of the Wild. That's fine or whatever. Like, but I like that they kind of left it open for going forward.
Yeah.
I'm like really trying to put this together here. So,
Seems like an odd one.
yeah, it is an odd one. There you go.
Well, these are. None of these corner pieces are. Like I'm putting together grass, so like just in little fragments of grass. Let me get this guy.
Yeah, so I mean, like, we finished this decade of like remakes, a lot of remakes. I guess where there's still more people are talking about. People love talking about remakes.
You know what? I think that's a permanent fixture in our in the Zelda culture now.
Yeah, I mean in video games in general, because they,
Right, but like I think, I remember writing an article. Now, granted, it's been time is always the perfect healer for remakes, but I remember writing an article about. Do we want to see Ocarina of Time HD?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are your thoughts on Ocarina of Time HD?
Like me?
Yeah.
I mean,
Does that seem like a crazy idea?
the people out there saying it because people even still, like, we talk about how the handheld games get discounted sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, that happens now with Ocarina of Time 3D to some extent.
Like I make a claim. I like how people are. Sometimes I throw things against the wall just to see what reactions are. And I remember making a statement saying, but I actually mean this though. I said like Majora's Mask is not a playable game anymore. You have to play the 3DS version.
Okay.
And then people are like adamantly like, no, I disagree. Like, I think people have such nostalgia for some of those versions, the N64 in particular.
Mm-hmm.
That and I think of Ocarina of Time that way as well. It's like, oh no, it's still the console version. Like, this is the console one. This is the one that matters. Like, it's not one of those handheld games.
Okay.
I think there is a little bit of a vibe about that. So
I think so, but not in regards of like the game as a whole, but like when people are like they should remake it, and it's like, well, they did remake it. We're like, yeah, but that doesn't,
like a real remake.
A real remake that doesn't count.
A real one. We want real video games here.
Yeah, when Ocarina of Time 3D is a perfectly. I mean, you couldn't just port that to Switch, I don't think, and it looks great necessarily, but
right,
because blow that up and it's not gonna look great.
No, it doesn't. We played it on the 70-inch screen over there. Remember that?
Yeah,
it didn't look bad.
I mean, you could tell what was going on.
Yeah,
if that says anything. But
all right, is it time to put all these together?
Could be.
Let's see, what are we doing here? Okay, what's this guy? Where is he?
Is it this?
Okay, we still have some work to do.
Look at that.
Where's this? Oh, we don't have a strand here, do we?
No.
Okay.
I'm working on that.
We still got work. Okay, you keep doing that then. I got little pieces of this. I got all this pieces of garbage. I prefer 30DS version. Like I think the argument was we were talking about the remakes and what's playable.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was making the argument like Wind Waker HD, you can't play Wind Waker anymore. I don't think there was not that many people that disagreed with that. Twilight Princess, I said, was not a big upgrade, but it's like, who cares? Like, play the HD version is the definitive version.
I mean, Wind Waker is still. I think unplayable is way too harsh for that.
That's not the right term, but it's like it's been completely
it's been replaced.
Yes, and there is no reason whatsoever anybody in the world should be playing the original one if they have the other one.
Unless they want to. I mean,
no, they're not allowed to. This is like they're entitled to their wrong opinion.
Okay, fair enough.
one of my favorite quotes. Or that's not a quote, but
Yeah, that classic quote.
you're entitled to your wrong opinion. It sounds so. That sounds like such a.
All right, I've got the entire bottom done.
Okay, let's line her up. All right, where's the? I had one side. Okay, where's this? The yellow brick road is here. Oh, look at that. I'll go like that.
Yeah, I don't think. I think if they wanted to bring the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess to Switch, they could just port them.
Yeah,
Like they're totally fine.
That
games.
seems like something that will happen like next week.
Yeah, that'll be one that's like, oh, we gotta down like couple months like with nothing going on.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing this quarter? Just drop that in there.
Right.
What's this though? Oh,
They're going.
yeah. Wow, are we really getting the?
All right, now see, this is why this puzzle sucks. Because look what we have left.
Yeah. Yeah, the Wii U was a pretty big flop. I think the big standouts were, those games, Mario Kart and Mario Maker was a huge boon for the Wii U.
Don't diss my old GameCube game. There is so much like people hold the GameCube in such high regard.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm a GameCube basher.
It's not your era.
No, it's not. And it's I go back and forth. I debate which was a worse console, the GameCube or the Wii U.
Okay.
Because they're clearly okay. Like,
wow.
When it comes to the best Zelda consoles, like.
Oh, if you're looking purely in terms of Zelda.
No, sorry, best Nintendo consoles. Like, most people, the NES is old, obviously, but people can view its importance. You know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm.
Nobody's debating like the legacy of the NES is better than the GameCube. That's not even. I don't think anybody's making that argument.
Yeah.
Like Super Nintendo was like a dip, but it was still just as important. Like in terms of the most important Nintendo consoles, the Mount Rushmore of Nintendo consoles. Like, there's what, the NES,
the
the Wii, the Switch,
and Super Nintendo. I think
is Super Nintendo the fourth. The first three are obvious to me.
Okay.
Are they obvious to you? Are those?
Those all would be ones I'd say.
Yeah, I might say the Game Boy.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well,
you said console though, so
yeah.
If you
changing my own rules mid-sentence,
because Nintendo could have its own Mount Rushmore for handhelds, like.
Yeah, all five of them.
Yeah, but that's been some of their, their bread and butter a little bit too. Is the longevity of the Game Boy is.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Okay, I think I should go back to the sky.
I don't even know what the hell to do now.
You want to work on the grass?
I guess.
Okay, I got all these little
these bits and bobs.
Yeah. This has got this guy definitely goes here.
Oh, this is over here.
You at this point you want to look for colors that look like, where's all this gold? Where are we missing all these little golds?
Okay.
And this lime green.
I gotcha.
Like that lime green guy right there. Definitely comes here somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know where, but he comes here.
Okay. Sure. Could be right here. No. Okay.
Where's this gold? Is this gold right here? Yeah.
I don't know if it's N64 before Super Nintendo.
I don't know. See, Super Nintendo, they were on top still. Sega Genesis, got in there. When it got to the N64, they were no longer the best console.
Yeah.
They were clear, not even they were a far, far, far distant second place.
Yeah. That was the beginning of the downfall, not the end, but the
downfall timeline.
Their era of
dominance.
It was, and that it just continued, for a while.
Yes.
So that's why I think Super Nintendo, it's like everyone thinks of the Super Nintendo as, I remember all this classic. It's got some of the standout big games for a lot of the series.
Right.
And then it's also got some of the best third-party support they have had that they've had ever.
It was, I would say, the second best third-party support after the NES. Yeah.
And then it's also, people think of it as like, remember all those classic like JRPGs and all,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's certain people who are nostalgic for all the sports games that they had on there at the time.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Is that not a thing?
The sports games on the Super
Like,
Nintendo?
I think of people like, I love the NHL game, and
NHL 94 on the Genesis is considered...
I guess that era had that too. So
I don't think the Super Nintendo sports games are viewed highly, actually.
I just think, well,
I was a sports game kind of guy.
that might just be to like the specific nostalgia that I know people who fit in that too. Because
Okay.
I think of, for me, the N64, for example, is like a reluctant no, because for me that's like the defining console of my childhood.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of looking at it as like, where's Nintendo at? So maybe that's just like I knew people who like, the freaking hockey game and stuff, but no, not necessarily revolutionary.
What did
but
that N64 do that the PlayStation didn't? I mean,
I'm talking more of, I think we're talking about in terms of Mount Rushmore, cultural impact.
yeah.
And at that point, I mean, certainly it has one of the biggest video games of all time on the console, but PlayStation at the time, I think, was so much bigger of a thing.
Yeah. Oh, scooter?
Oh yeah, and that's got to fit. No,
Okay.
that probably goes.
What is this guy? What are we looking at?
That's what I'm trying
Are
to-
we getting to the point where I got to start looking at the box?
It's actually, I mean, there's a lot of spots that could
Yeah.
be. So I don't know if we're there yet. Yes. Yes.
Where is this baby?
That's a no.
We got. Okay, you can mess with these lines.
Yeah. Let me.
You do this. I'm gonna go back to the sky, the city in the sky.
Yeah, that's been your strong point. So
It's not really strong. It was just one of those like I'm the reluctant sky. Somebody's got to do the sky.
somebody has to do this guy.
The wheel in the sky. Keeps on turning.
Keeps on turning. Oh man, this is rough.
This is what separates.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder.
I want to like walk around and sit on the other side right now, but I don't think that'd be good.
That'd be bad for viewing.
Yeah, I'm concerned about the Twitch viewers.
Oh yeah. We're gonna keep them. Yeah, I mean the N64.
You might need to fly solo for a minute while I use the bathroom.
Oh, that's okay. Sometimes do you ever put stuff together and you're like, I don't think so.
Yes. If it doesn't feel right, I take it off.
Like, this might be right.
Let me see. You got two reds next to each other. Yes, those are right here. Those are right here.
Oh my gosh.
They're right here. They go right here.
Okay. Wow, you are good at this. I could not look at the box like that and do that. There's another faint. No, that's all there. All right, I'm gonna grab the box. I'm gonna get right up on
You
it.
need a distinctive characteristic that you're looking for. So,
Yeah.
I was looking at those reds because those are. Where's the other reds in this?
Right. This is up here then, somewhere.
Well,
No,
I got some little tiny itsy bitsy reds in here.
yeah.
I don't know where else there's red, but like this is a piece that you stare at this box long enough. There's some red here.
Okay.
There's
So that's in here somewhere.
This is off camera right now.
Yeah, we'll put it there.
Yeah. It could actually go right there. No. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're coming together here.
You want? Oh, here's some more red.
Thanks. Okay.
That should be all of the red.
You have to figure out which way the grass is going too.
The grass is green. And the girls are pretty.
There we go. Thanks for handing me that piece.
You know, I remember I was at one of my baseball games and I played Paradise City.
Okay.
The umpire got a whole discussion with me between innings about what the topic of this song is.
Okay.
He's like, he made a quote. I can't get it out of my head. This lush green is over here somewhere. This got to be down here. And he's like, so when you think of paradise, the first thing you think of is cute girls in landscaping?
I don't know. I think those are both things. Green grass and yeah. The grass is always greener, they say, you know.
I don't know, man. I can't wait to get to paradise, you know, where the landscaping.
I think people just think of the beautiful, you know, the great outdoors.
Take me down to the.
All right, this is not.
This is this purple stuff. Where's
the
purple haze here?
Is this right? Does this seem right?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. If you think it looks good, it's probably good.
You want some more? Oh, this lush color.
Oh my gosh! Look at that. Wow.
Can they see the? Oh yeah.
You see the progress that's being made here?
Yeah, this is not really a good view. Actually, you probably can see more in the main view than the side view.
Yeah.
But, you know, with my fiance? Your fiance.
That's not a real thing. Fiance.
So, how about that, the Legend of...
Oh, I mean, well, okay, we talked about the year.
Should we open up the floor to questions?
Yeah. I mean, we talked about the decade, right? Like,
so should we talk about the century now?
Should we rank the decades of Zelda?
You know, I think that 80s decade.
80s is good.
Both of the games?
Well,
and the cartoon?
And the Nintendo cereal system. Think about all the cool merchandise, you know, that there was at the time, the board game.
You know, this is what I was saying that we got back in this century, or in the century.
Merchandising.
No, really. It sounds unimportant, but it really isn't.
No.
You want some of these pieces?
Sure.
Yeah.
This just really feels like over there.
Okay. Let me see. Where are these guys? Let's get these guys in.
This seems like somewhere in here.
These guys all look like this area.
Okay.
And these lush pieces look like they're here.
Okay. This
lush green.
So yeah, we got the merchandising back. That was missed.
I can sense sarcasm in your voice.
No, it's. I mean,
that was missed.
It's cool. Especially some of the. It'll be cool to have some of the nostalgia pieces too. Like if someday, you know, you can look back on like the cartoon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. A lot of the stuff that comes out doesn't really interest me necessarily. So, you know, I'm kind of take it or leave it. Oh, there we go. That was Lon Lon Ranch that we were trying to.
So we're missing a brown guy in here. Oh, that's here. I
love when that happens.
It's like we saw a lot of this gold. Look at that. That guy's there.
So, would you go?
I gotta. Let me just only do the sky because we're gonna finish this and nothing is gonna happen.
All right,
here.
You're on the sky. Well, here the birds go up here.
Thank you.
Fit in yet? Or wait, there's also some birds over here. We got more birds.
What do you mean birds?
Some birds.
Oh, those are tiny. They're teeny.
Find the tiny birds.
Those are in the whites. I haven't even gone.
Okay. Here's a
Those
mountain.
are in the whites.
Here's a mountain.
Those.
So would you put 90s over 80s?
Yes, just because of the 90s. There's not much. There's 3 games.
But they're like 3 of the best games in the series. Like you got 2 Mount Rushmore games there, and then I think like an amazing.
Like when you think of the aughts, that's like the 2000, whatever you want to call it. That decade that's the quantity decade.
Yeah, that one you could rank high in terms of quantity, and you also get, the ports and re-releases of the old ones that you could also play. So I think, like, you could make an argument for that. And even in the beginning of that decade, I think has some great games. You have the Oracles and
Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask for me.
Or is it because that's a late 64 game? Does it get lumped into the 90s?
I view like that and the Oracles as part of the earlier era, even though it's part of that decade.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Zelda had an amazing run. I mean, almost from the beginning to the Oracles, in my opinion. That's like just this.
So where did Zelda go wrong?
I don't want. It is not a negative stream, I'm not.
Back in the day when Zelda was.
I'm just saying they were just like on top of the world for a while. You couldn't mess with it. I mean, there's even the games that did come out were huge, so I can't act like they.
Yeah.
I can't act like people didn't love the Wind Waker or something,
This goes with what I was saying earlier, though, with the N64 was sort of like that decline a little bit with Nintendo's overall presence in the like the market, and then by the time you got to the GameCube, it's like it was playing second fiddle or third fiddle, depending, with the other consoles. And it was like, sure, there were still a lot of, like, the series was still huge and everything, but it was like there were other places to go for video games. So it was not on top of the world.
And I also think where Zelda, like a game like Ocarina of Time, pushed video games forward in a lot of ways, like I think other series were doing that more so in the 2000s.
Oh, like
as far as like innovating gameplay and stuff,
right?
Whereas I felt like they were more like each game had its own like new thing it was kind of doing, but it was mostly, I feel like, iterating on Ocarina of Time.
I've heard people say this about Breath of the Wild too. I don't know if I don't play video games enough to really subscribe to that. But
that it's what?
Like people saying like, yeah, Breath of the Wild's a great game, but it's like it only gets the love, like the over the top praise, because it's a Nintendo title.
Oh no. I think a lot of people view it as, I know non-Zelda fans who view it as like this is not just a breath of fresh air to the series, but in response to open world games filled with icons all over your map telling you exactly where to go, and this game was, here's this big open world, you can make your own icons, you can figure it out. Like there are people who are not Zelda fans specifically who are back into the series because of this, because it is a breath of fresh air in that regard.
Yeah. Do you feel that Nintendo games, though, like if a regular company makes a game, it could be amazing, it doesn't get, but like Nintendo can make that same game and it gets crazy exposure, like it's considered
to some extent? But
I got a good example I think you'd agree with. I make this argument every single time, and I always make somebody angry.
Okay.
I always talk about 2D platformers.
Oh, you're gonna talk about Rayman?
I'm talking about my Rayman. And
that's a good game.
But like I feel it gets like people whenever somebody says Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is one of the best games on the Wii U. I'm like,
well, did you play that game though?
I didn't play much of it. I'm not gonna.
Because that also is a thing.
But like I feel this was the way with Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo too. Like,
okay, but what platform are you comparing that to?
I just feel that Nintendo games as a whole, like, I don't even know.
Because I sort of agree with that, like, to some extent, but we also, so like when we were talking about Darksiders 2 and how we think it's one of the best 3D Zelda games or whatever, there's so much of, like, we say if Nintendo made that game, would it get different praises? But there's a lot about that game that I feel like it's like, well, Nintendo wouldn't make this game.
Yes.
Like,
it's very unpolished.
The polish, though. I mean, Nintendo has lately released some games that have like performance issues and stuff, but mostly.
Oh, really?
Well, there's with Link's Awakening. There's the.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty bad.
That's very un-Nintendo like.
Yeah, and that was even a thing in Breath of the Wild, especially on the Wii U.
Oh, I never played it. Did you play it on the Wii U?
No. But I think for the most part, when you buy a Nintendo game, even if it's not outstanding, there's a certain seal of quality in it, So that's
right. Yeah.
So they kind of have earned some of that praise, like.
Yeah, you're never gonna get a Nintendo game where it releases and it's broken, and then it gets terrible reviews, and then there's like audience people like me arguing, well, you got to play the complete version, like after all the patches, because Nintendo doesn't have that problem. I'm like almost totally referencing Darksiders 3 with that argument.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where
you're like, please no, try it.
It's it was a broken game, totally, but they fixed it, but it's like the reviews are in.
Exactly, yeah.
The reviews are based on what people played that first week.
Well, I mean, that's when it was available for purchase, and it does kind of suck that you could buy the game and it's broken.
Yeah.
Nintendo would sooner delay a game than release it broken.
Yeah, Nintendo was never about hitting a release. Well,
I mean, they certainly have. There's been some failures. There are some mistakes, but
mistakes were made. What is the biggest mistake in Nintendo's history?
It's so hard to say though, because like some of their like colossal failures are like now interesting. Like the Virtual Boy, or
there's nothing redeemable about that.
But it's just like
there's nothing. Yeah, that would.
But they didn't have to like bounce back from it. You know what I mean?
It was such a like side project.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah.
No one's like, what are they gonna do now? It's like, well, I mean,
I remember I was working on a project for the site where I was going through every single issue of Nintendo Power. And and seeing what references to the Zelda series there was. And I remember getting to a point where I was in the Virtual Boy era, and they were talking about the upcoming games for the Virtual Boy, and there was like a top 10 list I think it was top 5 Virtual Boy games. There were only like 8 games out, and they had a top 5 list.
Well, I have to make it seem like it's worth making a list about.
Yeah. And I remember there was just a point where they just like, we're done talking about this console, and then they stopped talking about it.
Wow!
And it just never was mentioned ever again.
Do you think the decline in Nintendo's home console market presence in the late 90s, 2000s is directly related to their meteoric rise in portable console presence?
Well, it was not. I mean, they
actually
had very similar paths. Like the portables, Game Boy took over the world, and then that kind of carried over to the Game Boy Color a little bit. But then when it got to the Game Boy Advance, then there was a sharp decline. The Game Boy Advance is the GameCube of the handhelds.
Yeah.
It was like, I mean, I think people I think it's very similar. Like, you have fond memories of the Game Boy Advance?
No. Did
you have one?
No, actually my brother did. And my most played game on it was Super Mario Brothers 3.
Okay.
Like, I didn't even play Minish Cap at the time.
All right, wait, hold on. You're gonna have to fly solo.
All right.
I'll use the bathroom.
What am I'm supposed to talk about? The Game Boy Advance?
Talk about a story from your childhood.
Story from my child. My most distinct Game Boy Advance memory was playing Super Mario Brothers 3. So I had to borrow it from my brother or steal it, or I don't even know. I played a lot more Game Boy even until that era. And I remember playing, I was in like a parent-child bowling league. And, just a little fun thing. And I remember bringing Super Mario Brothers 3 to the bowling alley a lot. Because not that I disliked bowling, but it was a lot more. I liked Super Mario Brothers 3 a lot more. I never had the Minish Cap at the time. I don't remember when I first played that. Probably like 10 years ago or so. On an emulator, actually. Don't tell anybody. But yeah, I remember I had a coworker who had the Minish Cap when it came out, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." At that point I was sort of a discounter of the handheld games. I was just like, take it or leave it. It's just some handheld Zelda. I liked Link's Awakening enough, or not enough. I liked it a lot. But I wasn't dying to play the Minish Cap, honestly. Yeah, it might just be an age thing, with the Game Boy Advance, because yeah, I played the GameCube a lot actually, but I don't think of it as necessarily as fondly as you do. But yeah, Game Boy Advance, I think it just didn't. In retrospect, I've played some games on it, like some of the Pokemon games and Zelda, obviously, and I've played Minish Cap, but it's my least favorite handheld of the traditional handhelds, I think. So, hey, Kevin's here. What's going on? You missed quite the conversation. I'm all alone, and I'm bad at puzzles. I'm trying to put together the flowers, which I don't know if that's a good idea. Does that go? Oh, I got something. Kevin Woorourke is here. Yeah, I would agree. I think the GBA is kind of a down period for the consoles, but I'm sure I think Nintendo always kind of maintained its handheld presence over the years anyway, though. Like, it didn't feel as much of maybe it's just because they didn't have like tough competition, right? I mean, they had there was like the PSP or whatever, but unless I am wrong, I don't really. I knew like one person who had it, and it was like, that's kind of cool, but you know what I mean, Moss, with the Game Boy Advance. It's like maybe it was a down period, but like they still just in that market, they just didn't still have a much competition. They had the PSP,
right? Yeah,
and then and like that wasn't that successful of a console, so
yeah.
Console. I can't say console right. I learned in one of our old videos. Someone called me out.
Criticize your usage of the term console?
I say council, but it's console.
Oh.
But I say it like
Console?
yeah, it's like console. Console.
Hide the soul?
Let's play Hide the Soul.
What are your thoughts on Hide the Soul?
That's a great game. They should report that.
Hide the Soul?
Yeah.
I want to play Hide the Soul.
That's gotta be over here.
Does anybody know what we're talking about?
I bet spiritual mask salesman Charles himself knows.
Is that supposed to be because his name is Charles?
Well he also just knows.
He invented the game.
Exactly.
Let's play Hide the Soul.
Also, Kevin's here.
What's up, Kev? DS was the DS is where that took over the world.
Who says it? Oh,
the DS was like
yeah.
They had the DS and the Wii going simultaneously.
Yeah, just kind of just killing it there.
And like the 3DS I kind of view like the Super Nintendo. It carried on the legacy, but it was like not all there.
But it just still had. I feel like it still just had a lot of cool games. So like it doesn't matter.
There was nothing negative about the.
I guess not at launch. I guess right.
Yeah, there was actually some negativity at launch where it was too expensive. I think that was the biggest. But I think they did a good job of basically fixing that with the ambassadors program.
Sure.
All right, I think do you need to work over here at all?
Kind of.
Here, let's do this. Let's switch spots.
I just put all the grass over here.
Okay, actually, you know what? You want to finish this grass first?
I got to finish this dark grass, unless some of that you think goes over there.
No, that's definitely over there.
It's over here.
Well, that probably goes right. Does that go right there? No, it doesn't go there. Where does she go? Flip it over. Flip it over.
You think it's
right there?
upside
Right
down?
there? Right there?
Right here?
Bam.
Wow. Okay, now we need that.
This lush green.
This lush green.
Look, there's some lush over here too.
Look at this lush greenery.
Oh, why is this guy here?
I don't know. I feel like that goes over here, though, right?
It's somewhere in the sky, maybe.
Oh, look, it goes right there.
It's like this is like bad puzzling right here.
What? Pokemon exception. Pokemon was always just there.
Well, I mean, the DS had like I think what was the first big DS game? Would you say was it New Super Mario Brothers?
Was it Mario Kart? I remember being.
But it also had like Brain Age. That was big in Nintendogs.
Yeah.
There were all these like mainstream like I don't even know what is that genre. You know what I'm talking about? Like
yeah, just like the Blue Ocean games.
Yeah, like did you play any of those games?
I played a little Brain Age. It's kind of fun.
I remember like like I don't know, maybe this was I'm not gonna say that.
It really had like so much more mass appeal.
I remember I played there was like so many new franchises on that system like that. I would like I played Professor Layton. You ever played that series?
Yeah.
I played Curious Village. I think I 100%ed it.
Yeah, there's a lot of puzzle games.
Professor Layton is a fantastic franchise.
I also think like that was the console at least, or the platform at least in America that like Animal Crossing really blew up on.
Yes.
Like when people.
There was a GameCube Animal Crossing, wasn't there?
There was. I played the crap out of that one, but for a while, and I actually didn't play the DS one because I didn't have a DS initially. But when I would talk to people about Animal Crossing for the longest time, it was always like, oh yeah, whatever the DS one was called. I was like, oh, I always thought it was, the GameCube, and then I learned otherwise. And then that sort of became the realm of it, because then there was the Wii one, which people were like mixed about, and then the
I
next
didn't know anything
big
about the Wii one, but I remember New Leaf. That was the
then
one.
that was the next big one, which is 3DS. You know, so I feel like the handheld was really the realm of Animal Crossing, especially the DS and 3DS. You know, Wild World. That was
Wild World.
I think it just worked because it was like, you know, you already had like that big swath of people who were more like the more whatever casual you want to call it, you know, audience, and then you had this type of game, so you know it probably got to a lot more people than whoever had the GameCube, you know.
You know, that Super Mario Brothers remake on the DS was big too. I didn't have that game though.
Super Mario Brothers remake?
Sorry, Super Mario 64.
Oh yeah, that was big too. Yeah, you're right.
And then Diamond, I got that's when I got my console actually with Pokemon Diamond. That was
okay.
That's what sorry, I had Pokemon Pearl, but Vic got
That
Pokemon
goes over
Diamond.
there.
We kind of look at this lush green.
That's lush. There's a piece here we need. Is it, no.
It might be these two combined.
Wow. That was truly a puzzle.
Ooh, what's this guy? This guy looks luscious. Where's the transition from light to dark? It's somewhere in here. I just leave this one alone. That's a poison piece.
Yeah, it sucks. The piece sucks.
Alright, I feel like I need to get over there.
Yeah, you gotta do some sky. Okay.
But there's still a lot of green here. You want to finish this area first?
Yeah, let's
You're not allowed to put anything over here. No green goes here. So you only deal over there.
Okay. I'll try. Oh, look. We're getting this.
Yeah, but are you looking above here though?
You're good at this stuff though. Look at that. Yeah, so I think DS kicked it up a notch. To be sure. What is happening?
Somebody Kevin
Look at this
saves the lush comment.
Oh, too bad we didn't have Kevin here before getting our clips.
Some lush clips.
I don't think this goes over here.
Luscious. I feel like well, we definitely didn't hit my 2-hour mark. Too much sky.
Where are we at?
2 hours.
Oh, 2 hours. You know, we're doing all right though.
We might still have 45 minutes here.
You never know with that sky. Is this one of these? Oh my god. Now we need another little. No. 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 I hate my first instinct is to put them together. Wow. Okay.
Oh, well, those fit.
Yes. This is incredible.
The blues are over there. There's no more blue over here.
So is there anything on GameCube you liked?
Resident Evil 0 and 1
Yeah.
were, and 4 was good. It's not my cup of tea, but
that's my favorite GameCube game actually.
Okay.
Over Zelda, I gotta say.
Okay. You know what? I think Resident Evil 1 and 0 are my favorite two GameCube games.
All right.
Oh.
So that's how I feel
think
about
Wind Waker is probably third. I don't view Twilight Princess as a I never played it in the GameCube.
Yeah, that's how I played it. So I view it as a GameCube. I feel like the Wii version is not canon.
Well, I view them as the same game, but it was like it came out in 2016. It's like it came out first on the Wii, so it's like, you know, like
that version's some BS though.
some DS.
Some B.
Oh, this is odd.
Um,
Something's not right. Something is wrong with the world.
Metroid. I had a friend who played Metroid, but was just kind of missed it.
I played. I played Metroid. I played Metroid.
No, I think GameCube.
I've never played the GameCube Metroid.
I know they're good.
I never actually played the Super Nintendo Metroid either. That's probably one of the biggest, like, why did I not play that game that I can think of.
Right, because that seems like it shares a lot of similarities with The Legend of Zelda too, in terms of, you're navigating this big puzzle-like world. It's kind of a blind spot for me too, but
Okay, this doesn't make sense to me. Something is wrong.
okay.
These all fit, but it should go. The big bird is directly above Link's head, but this doesn't fit here. It can't go here. Now this is way too high.
Oh no.
Okay, you know what? No, that goes here.
Yeah, I have some fond memories with Double Dash, but it was kind of actually after the fact. It was like well into the Wii era.
Is Double Dash a good game? Is it? Let me rephrase. Is it the worst game in the franchise?
I don't think Mario Kart 64 holds up that well.
Okay.
I think it's got a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah.
That I'll always love it. You know what I mean?
I'm going to defend that for a second. I don't think that's just nostalgia, because up until Mario 64, what game? This is the legacy of the N64, I would say. But what game did you ever play 4 players?
Up until that,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
I guess I don't have my timeline that.
that was the definitive 4-player game.
There was a lot
as well.
That and Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah. And it was like it came like the console had 4 players built in.
Yeah.
That was not a thing with other consoles.
Yeah.
So
certainly.
Something is definitely wrong now.
Oh yeah, Mario Tennis is pretty dope. And you had the Mario Party games there on the N64. And then Melee for GameCube was pretty big, but I think I just have fonder memories with some of the other ones for me that make them a bit more higher on my list, even though people make the argument that like Melee is a better game or something, but I don't know.
Is this picture right? What the hell am I looking at here?
Are you okay?
No, I'm not. You know what? It's this piece that doesn't go. Oh, that doesn't make sense either. Something is wrong here.
We're struggling.
No, this is like these pieces all look like they go, and these look all. You know what? I think I should just ignore this region and come back to it later.
What is the best introductory video game for someone who is a 20-something that has never played a video game in their life before? A video game. Is this
Tetris?
Well, yeah, I was like, best. Are we talking Zelda or any video game? Tetris is probably. I mean, I think it's the proven answer, right? You get 5 blocks, and you gotta put them together.
I think I could teach my mom how to play Tetris in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't think she'd like it though.
Okay, well maybe that's not the best introductory game then.
I don't know if I can get her to play anything. Or I showed my dad Galaga once.
Yeah? Do you like it alright?
Oh god, no. This was during his phase of what the heck is with all these new arcades opening? Why is there such what's so exciting about all this? Let me try. I want to play one of these.
Oh, he wanted to try one?
Yeah, he wanted to know what all the fuss was.
Okay.
It lasted about a minute.
Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards mini games. That's a very specific answer, but okay.
What was the question?
The same question. That's what Kevin said. That's like Kevin's like, I like Triforce Heroes. You know what were sick mini games was Pokemon Stadium. Had some pretty sick ones on the N64.
Where's this luscious pink coming from?
Luscious pink. Oh man, I am struggling. I'm just having a bad time.
Having the time of my life.
I'm like, I know this can't go anywhere. I'm thinking it's over there. And how much green could there realistically be? There's that.
Okay, I can't look.
Don't look at the green.
I know.
You've got a job to do.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh, there's like a goofy small piece. Oh, yes. No.
No.
Wait, yes. Okay.
What's this yellow? Oh, yellow's over here.
Is that a lush yellow?
Let's get. I'm gonna start pulling all the yellows.
That's somewhere over there. Let's see.
What's new in the chat?
Elias is going to lock you in a room with Metroid Prime.
You know, I think I'll. Yeah, I have nothing against Metroid. Let me be clear about that. I feel I just missed it, and I think I had this conversation on one of the streams where, I kind of view the idea of playing like a game like that with one joystick. It's kind of awkward in this day and age.
That's a one joystick game.
Yeah, isn't it play like GoldenEye?
I don't think so. Am I wrong?
Am I totally wrong on that? I might be wrong on that.
You might be wrong on that.
But the larger point.
Elias will let you know.
Does the game have a second joystick? What is that thing?
Well, he says wait till the Switch remasters. That's when I would jump in. I want to jump in, but I feel like I need a good entry point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't jump in. I don't think there's nothing against the series. I just don't. I can't really speak. I don't play video.
Well, you don't. Well, that's true. Is like you're not even gonna play a new video game.
The next video game I buy is gonna be Darksiders Genesis.
Yeah, but like okay, for me as someone who will play video games.
Yes. As a video game player, what are your thoughts on this video game?
Well, so I think there has to be a possibility that, you know, like Metroid Prime 4, it's on the Switch. More people have Switch than the GameCube ever did, and it's not like 3 where I feel like they were concluding a trilogy from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like even if it's in the same lineage as Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3, there's got to be some thinking of, you know, this has to be a good jumping on point for a lot of new players, you know? And that's kind of what I'm looking for is, like, you know, I don't need to play 3 games to start getting into Metroid, you know?
Right. I'm just waiting for the you use jumping on, so.
It's a lot.
Oh, don't do it.
I won't do it. Kevin got some board games. That's cool. I now play board games almost exclusively at the marathon, and that's it.
You used to be a big board gamer.
yeah, I found that it's really dependent on who I am around. You know, what I mean? Like
Where you live.
where I live, basically. There's been a couple places I've lived where it was all board game players. And if that's not the case, or like people who are like, even if they weren't specifically that, they're like always super down.
Yeah.
But now it's like, don't have a lot of roommates or anything, you know. So it's not like a. So the marathon is like the only time where there's a lot of people I know who are like pretty interested in playing some games, which is kind of good, fine for me, you know. Or like when I go visit my old friends who still collects a ton of. I have a friend who is like your equivalent of a Zelda collection, but for board games. Just like, no matter, like, he's like, feels like he has to buy certain things. And it's even, I think it's even rougher because there's so many board games.
Right, yeah.
Like, you don't have to buy this.
That was my pinball argument the other day. Remember that?
Your pinball argument?
I said if they make a Zelda pinball game.
Oh, you will buy it.
No, it's not just the pinball game. It's how many versions of it.
Oh, you'll buy every single one. Yeah.
Until there are none.
Yeah. We're getting there. This is going pretty good. Go there? No. I'm starting to narrow it down. There's like more grass than it seems.
At least there's some texture.
Oh. There's some lush texture, I do gotta admit.
It's very
Oh yeah. Look at that lush piece right there. And that lush piece right there. Oh.
Are you mocking me?
No.
Yes.
I wouldn't dare. Oh, I can tell that doesn't go there. Or it does. Metroid Prime Pinball. I played, I feel like I had a Pokemon pinball game for my Game Boy. That's pretty good. Played a lot of that. You had the Pokemon trading card game for Game Boy.
So this piece never went there. That was the problem.
That was the problem all along.
You remember how you said earlier, if this piece doesn't feel like it goes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I usually don't do that. That was an anomaly.
That was a very non-Moss move there. Wow, I can't.
It must have really fit. Like because I must have had no doubts about it.
It's okay. We all have our moments. That sky is coming together. All right, this has got to be over there. Oh, come on. This has got to be over there. How many? Wait, there's some blue in this.
Here.
Oh, yes. I'm not allowed to put down pieces over there. But there was blue.
There should be.
You're not allowed to look over there. All right. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I had that Pokemon pinball. I had the Pokemon trading card game for Game Boy.
You know what? I played that game on means that we're not going to talk about here.
Oh yeah, I accidentally revealed something like that earlier too about myself. Shouldn't have.
And it was so much more fun because you could play the game fast.
Yeah.
And it made the
Oh yeah.
like Do you feel that way about old Pokemon as well, by the way? I think it's hard to play Red and Blue because it's so slow. And they
Yeah, probably just because sometimes I feel that way about, not always, but sometimes about current Pokemon where I'm like, I just want to.
Are those games slow?
Not really. It's just I lose my patience a little bit. Like, I don't know. I can't really say it's something about the game. It's more of just like I just want to do this thing, and it's more of like when you have to when you're looking for a specific Pokemon.
Let's switch.
Oh,
You'll narrow down these grains later. Oh my God! I just found a new world.
a whole new world. But yeah, it's mostly when I'm like searching out, trying to capture a specific Pokemon, and you gotta go through the motions of like, that's not the guy I want. That's not the, it's like, do I try to run away? Well, it'll take just as long to
kill the guy than to run.
Yeah, like that's still just a thing, and because they got rid of a lot of that by just being able to see him, which I think is cool. But still, like there are some that you can only find in hidden grass. Which I think is fine, you know.
You can see the Pokemon before you go into the battle now.
They're like walking around.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
That's like from Pokemon Go, right?
Pokemon Let's Go.
Let's Go, yeah.
Yeah, but there's still some that you can only get via grass in certain locations. Or like, I think you can probably find them elsewhere too, but yeah.
Overall, is that a good quality of life improvement?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they should make it so they're all like that. Like, I like that there's some, you gotta, like, search out some.
Okay.
But it was, for me, there was a point where I thought, I've never done a full Pokedex. Maybe I'll do that. And I spent, like, another hour, 2 hours collecting some. And then I was like, actually, no. I'm good.
Okay. But it gave you never went that far.
I've never...
It pushed you to the limit.
It got me to play the game a little bit beyond the end game.
Okay.
But then I was kind of like, actually, I don't. I think part of for me, the appeal of Pokemon is gathering the party as you go along and kind of building it up and changing and making the decisions and ultimately getting to the championship or whatever and winning.
Right, yeah.
And after I'd done that, it just, like, there is even some post-game story that I haven't finished.
Okay.
It's not like bad or anything. It's cool. It's there actually. But I wish there was. I think I dropped a piece. I wish there was like maybe a little bit. It was a little bit different. I don't know. I don't know what could have made it better, but it's still good. It's not even negative about it. The Gen 1 special stat. I don't even know. I don't know enough about Pokemon to know what issues the Gen 1 is. That's so... Or I never paid attention to, like, stats in the game, really, other than, like, what level are they? You were into, like, that stuff, right?
I played Gen 1 and 4 and 5.
You got, like, kind of into...
I played a lot of Gen 1, and then I played a lot of Gen 4. Because I was doing the...
Competitive, right?
Yeah, I was doing the competitive stuff. There was a guy in the forums back in the day that would make Pokemon. Like, he had some mod with action replay. Okay. So it was like, it took away all the training aspect of it. He can just give you the perfect Pokemon with the IVs and all the, all that stuff.
Okay, so you could just, like, build teams and...
Yeah.
That's something like, this is totally different, but just, like, in Pokemon Stadium, where you could just, like, battle a friend and you could just do a load, like, it's like, this is level 50, like, you didn't have to, you could use the ones you've trained, but they did just have, like, generic ones, so it wasn't, like, competitive in that way, but it was just like, hey, let's...
Well, the thing is, it was not just level, like, with the level 50s, that just takes your existing Pokemon and just, like, scales him. But every Pokemon is different. There's a like, you're never gonna have the same Pokemon that have the exact same skills. Like they're gonna have little tweaks that are different depending on how you train them. And but like it's you can make it like, okay, this is gonna be a defense-based Pokemon, or like a special attack Pokemon. So it doesn't matter what the heck his attack is. You want his attack to be as low as possible. You only want him to have good special attack.
Okay.
So there's ways to train the Pokemon so that he gains. I think that's how it works too. So he only gains attack instead of special attack. In whichever way it is, because if you have a Pokemon that has all regular attacks, what the difference does it make if he has good special attack? Because that's a useless stat.
I see.
This is like I don't know. This is a little deeper, I think, than the average Pokemon player, but I don't.
It's deeper than me for sure. That's sure, but
I eventually quit because then people were cheating.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, they were making Pokemon that can't exist. That was the thing. Like it's one thing to make Pokemon with like this is his maximum stats or whatever. But then I remember I was battling Wyatt, if you remember Wyatt.
Okay.
He went by Kabirian, and he brings out a Magikarp and does Roar of Time.
That's kind of funny though.
Yeah. It was, yeah. And I used to play like it was like it kind of still carries over like even like to the marathon now where I was doing these like live streams and like facing people. But the whole point was kind of to lose. Like I don't need to win. I'm who's the wrestling counterpart to that? They're so like John Cena nowadays.
Okay, yeah.
Does he ever need to win again in the rest of his life?
Yeah.
He doesn't need to win a match.
Right.
So like I would purposely pick teams in Pokemon that they were not necessarily good, but I like them. Because I picked like I had Articuno and I like Crobat, some of my favorite Pokemon.
I only know who Crobat is because of you.
Oh, Crobat's yeah. So, but then I remember like then one time I picked Groudon on my team. You know who Groudon is?
I don't know.
Groudon is one of the legendary Pokemon from season Generation 2.
Okay. I know the other guy, whatever his name is.
It's like, I remember, so they used to use this website called Smogon, which is like, it has all the stuff for like the tier lists. Like this guy's in top tier, this guy's low tiers, like based on like how good the Pokemon is.
Okay.
So it's like, oh yeah, you're only supposed to use the people that aren't. So apparently I used Groudon unknowingly. And then everybody was accusing me of cheating because he's in the Uber category.
Okay.
And at the time, I was ignorant to this. Later on, I began to understand it. I'm like, it's like that's why like they don't just have Pokemon with this. Otherwise, everybody would use like Mewtwo and like whatever, like the 10 most popular.
Right.
They would ban certain Pokemon at the highest levels because otherwise, it's just stupid. But yeah, Groudon was one of those people.
He's just so powerful.
But then they're like, I can't use him. But then I looked at this tier list, and like I was using like 7, like all my main Pokemon were in the like low tier or under. I think it was called underused category.
Okay.
So it's like you guys are using 6. I think it went Uber, underused. Or sorry, Uber, then I think it was like overused. Then there was another term in there, and then there was underused. Right? It might have been overused, underused, and never used.
Okay.
So there were 4 tiers. Unevolved Pokemon don't count. So it was like all my Pokemon were in the like underused or never used category. And I used one guy who's too good. And everybody was, bitching about it. And I'm like, oh, now I know that this list. Oh no, oh, so I shouldn't be using Nidoking at all.
Yeah.
He's garbage. he's apparently one of the worst Pokemon in the game. Like, now that I know this, okay.
Change up your strategy a little bit.
Yeah, but then there's also what's PU? I don't think PU was a thing back then.
No idea.
I remember eventually we made a compromise where like, okay, I'll use Groudon, but then I can't use any of the overused Pokemon.
Okay, I remember this.
Oh, okay. And then I was using weird combinations, and it was awesome.
That sounds pretty fun.
Because I was using Groudon with Vileplume and Victory Bell.
Okay.
Victory Bell and Vileplume are awful Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you know those Pokemon, right?
Yeah. I didn't know they're bad.
No, yeah, from a competitive standpoint, they're terrible. But with Groudon, they're awesome. Because Groudon's ability is he summons Permanent Sunshine. That's his, you know, each Pokemon has their own ability.
Yeah.
So, I would use, we'd be playing doubles, 2-on-2.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm using Groudon and Vileplume. So then my opponent's like, who cares about this Vileplume? Let me get, I got to kill this Groudon. The thing is, Vileplume's ability is called Chlorophyll. And what it does is when it's sunny outside, it moves at double the speed. So he always gets first attack.
Okay.
Not only that, Vileplume has strong special attack. And its number one attack is Solar Beam. So when Solar Beam, with Solar Beam you usually have to charge it. Remember Solar Beam it would take two turns?
Yeah.
But because Groudon summons Permanent Sunshine, Solar Beam can go in one hit.
Okay.
So we immediately start the battle, and right away Vileplume hits Solar Beam. And it doesn't have to recharge. So, and then like Groudon is super strong by himself too. So it was kind of a garbage. It was really overpowered. It was great. I loved it.
That's good stuff.
I felt I finally got my redemption at last with that one win over Wyatt.
Redemption at last.
Ooh, we got something. Where's something? I have a dot. Ooh, it's right there.
This is probably pretty normal, but my way I pick Pokemon, because I'm never competitive, I just pick like, oh, this one's cool. I'm going to use it, Like I just would like develop different attachments to certain types,
Yeah.
Just like, oh, I like this guy. He's got charisma.
You pick your Pokemon based on charisma.
I ended up, I don't know if this was just, like how it always goes, but the team I ended up with by the end were just like all ones who were like tanks, what I mean? Just like big dudes.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I like that.
Those aren't like they had a theme and it was kind of accidental. It was like it's like one of the new ones he's like a big turtle with like the horn. And then I had a Rhydon, and I had
Rhydon's a classic.
Who else did I have? It was just all like the big beefy guys.
The big
like that I could all imagine would be like wrestlers if they, it was kind of an accident because I started off like, oh, these are like the cutest ones in the game.
Yeah.
And then by the end it was just like the most terrifying guys I could find. I had an Arcanine on there. That was pretty.
Oh, Arcanine's cute.
Yeah, but he's also kind of badass. So that was my strategy. Yes.
Where's all this white? This is just this.
That's what.
There's like 20 pieces that are all like white, but there's not. There's shades of white, but not that many.
Sometimes the pick is deceiving.
Oh yeah. Oh god, that guy. That was the Skull Kid Majora's Mask puzzle.
Oh yeah.
Is the most deceiving of the puzzles.
Oh sure.
I would give that a review of bad.
Wow.
You heard it here first. That's a really bad jigsaw puzzle. Okay, nothing's going in.
Oh, we didn't do. We should have done predictions for this year. What's coming out this year?
I think there will be one game.
And you think it's
Breath of the Wild 2.
okay?
I think it'll get teased sometime in spring. I think we'll have a blowout at E3. I can totally imagine this being like very similar to the blowout from E3 from years ago.
Like it's like this is
the one game we have. I don't think Nintendo's in a much different spot. They don't need to do that. Like, they'll have other games, but that'll be the one game that they're headlining. They usually do that, actually. They show. I think they did that a few years ago with Smash.
Yeah, that's true.
And then from there, it'll release in November.
Twist of the Wind Holiday 2020.
Yeah, I loved it. Twist of the Wild.
Do you think there will be some like random spin-off surprise thing?
No.
No?
I think that was what this year was to get us over. The alternative, I can totally see them flipping the switch and just Skyward Sword coming out, and none of this happening.
Okay.
But I don't think so.
It would be cool. I mean, we'll probably, I don't know, might also just see like more of Zelda in like some other game. You know what I mean? Like how they've done like in Mario Kart Smash or what, Mario Maker. Like, there might just be some like, and coming to the Shovel Knight is a special Zelda 2 mode, like just some out of the blue.
Yeah, that's because Nintendo, the series is gone, so that's sort of we're coming full circle here. But that's what's happened in the last decade, where the series is so mainstream. Not like that you wouldn't expect to see that years ago.
I think that's just a change in Nintendo in a lot of ways. Like they became so precious with the IPs. But now it's like they're making a Mario movie and they've got all these mobile games and
they're making a Mario movie?
Yeah, there's an animated Mario movie in the works.
Oh man. Is it going to be in the is Sonic and Pikachu going to be in it?
Yeah, the Super Smash Bros. Universe.
That's such an awesome idea, by the way. Can you imagine if it really is a thing?
If they actually made a Super Smash Brothers movie.
It doesn't have to be that. It could be just Nintendo, but I mean, the idea is there.
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny.
I feel like I'm playing with the same 8 pieces over and over and over again here. I'm not getting anywhere with any of them. I'm gonna put these aside.
But also, even like there's that like Star Fox was in that one game and whatever. It's just like, even if it's I don't know. It's just like stuff showing up. They're making moves.
They got the moves like Jagger.
Yeah, they got the moves like Jagger.
Like Hager.
The mayor.
The mayor?
Mike Hagar, isn't that?
Oh. Jake Hager?
Oh. That's who you're
I didn't know he was the mayor.
Look at this.
I think it goes here.
Grass done. Oh no. Sky. I'm taking a 2-second mental break.
I'm at this point right now. If you see what I've been doing the last 3 minutes.
Just piece by piece by piece. I got a good feeling about this. No, I don't.
That's yellow. Oh, where's the yellow stuff? Maybe.
Give me some yellow.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Try to pick out the yellows in here. This looks like some yellow. Actually, no. you gotta look at the shades. Like this might be some. No, what's this?
It just like seems like it might be the right shade until you
Yeah,
hold it up.
you gotta like. Yeah, you need an eye for it.
Does this have like cloud in it? They all have cloud in it.
I think at this point it's not good to look at a piece and try to figure out where it goes.
Oh
Where,
no. Okay.
okay, this. I think. Is there any pink here? What is this color?
Like, yeah, what color is this? Whose color is this?
White is here. There's a whole batch of white here, but
Okay.
I can't connect it. That's what I was trying to do. Try this yellow. This. There's got to be some like this guy's. This guy's totally here.
Okay. I like you just grab it from me and you might as well just figure it out.
Is there any other yellow? Do I see any? Oh, this looks got some yellow. Oh, this is more white. Yellow.
Like I'm not even seeing the yellow in these pieces, to be honest.
I don't think there's any more yellow.
Okay. Yellow is done for. No.
Okay, I think this pink and purple. Let's go right here. Oh. This looks like the next best. Oh, this guy's here. Oh man, that's there. Is that all the pink or purple? Is there more lavender?
Feels like this area.
Just bring these pieces closer. I'll get a better look.
This is really getting intense.
Oh god, there's still so much.
Are we sure these fit together?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start doing my own thing over here.
You know, I tried that.
Didn't work.
I don't know if it's a good strategy. I didn't get very far.
Oh, I got one. Yeah, it's probably not the best.
I think you end up like trying to piece things together, and then like it ends up fitting against a wall that already exists. So this has got some yellow.
This might have some.
This piece is annoying me. No, there's too much pink here. Are we gonna finish this puzzle?
What time is it? 6:55. Wow.
Should we just wrap things up? Finish it off screen?
Oh, we're so close.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry though.
Oh,
All right, let's wrap things up.
yeah, we just got the stinking sky left, so.
Yeah, I will finish this probably tonight because I'm crazy like this.
You're into it.
Any we'll take a round of questions though. We got 5 minutes.
If anyone's still there,
If anyone here is watching,
please put us out of our misery. We'll quietly assemble while. Wow, this section is truly awful. What was the best GameCube game of 2019?
Oh, you know what? Let's actually think about this. What game on the GameCube is the best game to play right now in 2019?
Okay.
Because considering, like, I don't think you can count Wind Waker, because it's hard to say like that's a Wii U game now. if that makes sense.
Okay. We're talking about, yeah. Well, okay.
Like Smash Brothers is still counts.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to stick with the Resident Evil games. And I'll leave it open-ended as just Resident Evil. Because
Yeah.
I'm going to count all 3 of them in there.
I think any of them, they're like... They've had ports and stuff, but like they're just ports, you know.
Yeah.
Like they would, I think, hold up just as well on GameCube, just with slightly worse graphics, you know.
Well, I don't think any of them have been upgraded.
No,
Actually, no. There is a
just
definitive. There's the HD version.
There's HD version of 4 also.
Yeah, those
But,
are,
like,
those
you
are
can-
like upscales, not like remakes.
It's not like they significantly changed gameplay.
You're right.
I think Resident Evil, yeah. I think there's probably some good stuff for like goofing around with your friends. Like you probably play some Mario parties on the GameCube and have fun.
You know what? I'm not sure. Are any of the Mario parties on the GameCube actually good games?
Are any Mario Party games actually?
Is it? Am I like? Yeah, this is a good question. Is it just nostalgia, or do I think the ones in the like Part 1 is a good game?
It's not.
It's not.
RE was just remade, but that's Resident Evil 2. We're talking about the ones on GameCube that haven't been remade. Resident Evil 1, 4, and 0?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like a solid trifecta of games that haven't improved yet since the GameCube. Other than graphical fidelity or whatever, you know. But yeah, I don't think there's a good Mario Party game in actuality.
Poor Mario Party.
There's some fun to be had. This is very specific, but I played through a lot of Double Dash with another person, and it was just fun to do.
Like
play.
Recently? Or
No,
20 years
like,
ago? Or
like
not
5
20
years ago or something.
Okay.
If you have the stuff for Four Swords Adventures,
That's a good.
what are the GameCube games?
Josh, did you play any of the GameCube Mario parties? I remember playing 6 and thinking it was hot garbage. I think that was the only one I played though on the GameCube. I think I've played 1, 2, and 3. If I recall correctly, Part 3 came out really late in the cycle though.
Looking at best GameCube games.
Oh, this is something Josh and I always do. We look at lists and then see if the other person can guess them. You want to do that?
Well, I'm just looking at like what came up on.
Yeah, wait. Try to find a top 10. Search a top 10 GameCube games
Okay.
list. I want to see if I can get them.
Because I immediately saw one that I think qualifies for what we were talking about.
Okay, don't look.
But okay,
Find a top 10
top
list.
25.
Top 20. Okay, well, find top 25, but then let's only do top 10.
Okay,
Let's see if I can guess.
that's how we're gonna close out this stream.
We're going to play us out. Do you have it open? Or?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm at. What are you trying to guess? Top 10.
I'm going to see if I can get all. See if I can get 8 of the top 10.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to say Super Smash Brothers is on that list.
Okay.
Tell me what number it's at.
Well, I have to go back and forth between 2 pages, so that's gonna be.
Oh God, find a different list.
This is Games Radar. This is your voice.
Games are they?
I feel like you've used that before.
I think they do. They're my competition.
How does IGN do it? Oh, here we go. Okay. Go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna guess Super Smash Brothers on this list.
Okay. It's number 3.
Okay, I'm gonna guess Wind Waker is on this list.
Okay, it's number 4.
I'm gonna say Mario Sunshine is on this list. Actually, it might not be.
Yeah, it's not it is number 9.
Okay. Whew. All right, we got 3. Okay, I'm gonna say Resident Evil 4.
It is number 2.
So we have 2, 3, 4, and 9.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? Well,
Hold on.
there's some you might not get.
I'm gonna say it, but I don't know if it's on. Is Twilight Princess on the list?
No,
Okay, I didn't think so.
that's too bad.
It's because of the timing it came out. If it came out 2 years earlier, and it was the exact same game, it'd be on that list.
Okay.
It's just because it was the. It's considered a Wii game, I think.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. I don't know if I agree with this, but I'm gonna say Double Dash.
No.
No Double Dash. Okay. I don't think is Resident Evil Zero or Resident Evil Remake on there.
Not in the top 10.
Okay. All right. Let me think outside the box. Okay, Metroid Prime.
That is number 1.
Okay. Elias, if you're here,
There you go.
your boys. I'm gonna say Metroid Prime 2.
Where is that? It's not in the top 10.
Okay. How about Pikmin? Let's say 1 or 2.
No. Wait, no. Pikmin 2 is number 6.
2, 3. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 9.
Mm-hmm.
Will I get 5, 7, and 10?
5.
And 8. 5, 7, 8, and 10.
No, I don't think so. Actually,
Is it some like garbage, like Internal Darkness or something?
that's number 5. Eternal Darkness.
Oh, wow.
Sanity's Requiem.
Oh my god. Yeah, I wonder, are there any ports on this list? It's like, is Twin Snakes on this list?
That's number 25.
Okay. That was great, dude. I got pulled out.
Okay, so you've got 7, 8,
Ooh,
and 10.
there's no way. Star Fox Adventures is not a good game. That would not be on the top 50 list, I don't think.
Yeah, I played that game for like 5 minutes and was like, what the hell?
That would be like on a list because, it's the Star Fox name and name alone.
It's not in the 25. What do you think number 7 is?
Boy. All right, where are we missing? 7, 8, and 10?
Yeah.
All right, give me a clue. Are they first-party games?
2 of them are? One is for sure. I'm pretty sure the other one is.
Is it Animal Crossing?
No, that is, it's on the 25, I think.
Are you getting into like Harvest Moon territory?
No, actually. Actually, Animal Crossing is not on the 25, I don't think. Oh, it's number 11. Nope. What are other first-party properties you can think of?
Luigi's Mansion?
No.
Okay, good. I don't think it deserves to be there.
What?
It was a fun game, but if that's your best,
It's an iconic GameCube game.
I agree.
Okay, it's like one of the most GameCube games I can think of.
Well, it was like the best launch game.
Yeah.
It was the launch game. I mean,
All right, you've got some other first parties
Ironically,
to guess
people-
from.
people say that was one of the downfalls of the console. It launched with that game. I think that's its legacy. Like it missed out on, like,
It didn't launch with a Mario
yeah,
first party.
like a big, like, there was no must-have game on day one. I mean, that's what. Do you think? Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm being negative here, but I don't think Luigi's Mansion was a must-have game on the console.
No, it kind of had a cult following, I would say.
Yeah,
I love that game though.
I liked it too. I love the room where you play the musical instruments and it turns into the Mario theme. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You just start tapping all the.
Wait, come on, so you got to guess another first party title.
Whew.
Just think of any Super Smash Brothers character.
I don't think there's a Pokemon game. No way. None of them were good.
No, that's kind of maybe that's another mark of the GameCube too.
No good Pokemon first party games?
Yeah, that's a massive failure, I think, of a console.
I feel that was the same way with the Wii, though.
Actually, yeah. Never mind.
Probably the Wii U as well. I don't know if there's...
Pokken tournament.
Where are we getting? Are we getting into like Donkey Kong Congo Bongo or whatever?
Congo Bongo.
No, not Congo Bongo. That was it. That's an arcade game.
Jungle Beat. That's 24.
Oh God. I heard that was a bad game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm.
You tapping out?
Yeah. What do we got here?
All right, number 7.
Wait. Hold on. Let's see. Can we get the crowd to guess?
Paper Mario was another one that I would have said holds up,
Oh, Paper Mario.
But
I don't know
that
that
is-
one. I was thinking Super Paper Mario on the Wii.
but that's 16. But
Okay.
I would put that in my top 5 for sure. Pokemon Coliseum is not in the top 10. I don't even think it's on the list. All right, number 7 is F-Zero GX.
Okay.
Number 8 is Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
Okay. Have you ever played that game?
A little bit.
I remember Darksiders 2 got a lot of comparisons to it.
Okay, I've seen it. And number 10 is Wave Race Blue Storm.
I believe that was a launch title, wasn't it?
I don't remember. I think SXX Tricky was.
Oh, is that on the list too?
No. But I remember that being a game.
I just then you walk away. It's tricky. That's the only thing I remember about that. It's tricky.
It's tricky.
I made some progress while during that game.
Yeah.
Okay, this is gonna take about 15 minutes, and I don't want to spend 15 more minutes right now because we got a meeting later on. So
Oh, if only we had the time to do one more top 10, would have.
top 10 week.
that.
All right, forget dinner. We're gonna just go through.
All right.
We're
yeah.
gonna finish the puzzle.
I think this gives us some energy to do it. I do have to go home, but we'll get this done. Top 10. What council? Give us a council.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Our 2 viewers.
There's 14 people watching. One of them is me.
All right, I'm gonna type in top 10, and when I look up,
Atari 7200. No.
I'm thinking we're gonna do. What have you done before with Josh? Because we don't want to do those.
We've probably done GameCube, but it's like it depends on somebody's list and what you can remember at the time.
N64.
Okay. I think we've done Wii.
Okay, we'll do N64.
Yeah, because there's some deep cuts here, I think, that I can think of.
Okay, hold on. We'll do IGN again. Oh, is this a multi-page thing?
Who are these jokers?
That should be a crime. It's not, but you do have to scroll. But we could make do with that.
This is some that nonsense, man.
All right, so give me your.
Okay, Ocarina of Time.
That is number 1.
All right, GoldenEye.
That is number. Ooh, it's number 4.
Okay, I don't know if this counts, but Perfect Dark.
Why doesn't that count? It's number 3.
Okay, yeah, they're like sequels. They're totally different games, I guess, because they're different. Yeah. One's a
Both those games go hard though.
Majora's Mask, is that in there?
Let's see.
We got 1, 3, and 4 so far.
Yeah, you got a glaring number 2. Oh man, I'm loving this list. What did you just say though?
Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask. Wow, this is a crazy list. No, it is not on here.
Not top 10?
No.
I'm gonna say Mario 64.
Holy cow, this list might enrage people. Yeah, it's number 2.
Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, and 4 so far.
I think everything else you're not gonna get. That's how crazy I think this list is.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, when is this list from?
Is Mario Kart on there?
It is not in the top 10.
Okay. I can see it. I say Banjo Kazooie.
I believe that is actually in the top 10. That one's not out there. That is number 7.
Okay, how about I don't think Banjo Tooie is on there.
No.
Conquer.
Nope.
Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Give me a clue on one thing. Is there any sports games on this list?
There are sports games.
Are they Mario sports games?
No.
It's like Wayne Gretzky 3D hockey on there?
Nope, not that one, but there are cuts of similar measure.
Is Ken Griffey Jr. baseball on there?
No.
Give me the sports games. I'm not gonna. Are these?
Well, they're mostly sports games.
Oh,
actually.
really? Is NFL Blitz on there?
No.
Not Mario sports games.
No. There are 2 that I think are gettable.
Gettable.
Like they're not, to me, they're not as deep cuts. But then there are 2 sports games that I think are deep cuts, and then there's one platformer that you'll like that it's on there.
Let's Major League Baseball 98. No way. Donkey Kong 64 is not. I don't think that's considered very good though.
It's not on there.
The Donkey Kong games that I think are considered really good are the ones on Super Nintendo.
How about this? Number 5 is IGN's pick for best racing game on the Nintendo 64.
Diddy Kong Racing?
No.
Best racing game. What the fuck is? What are we in? Like Ridge Racer?
Nope.
That's a PlayStation game, but
it's a Nintendo property.
Is this another F-Zero?
Actually, 5 and 6 are both racing games that are Nintendo properties.
Jeez. It's not Mario Kart?
That aren't Mario Kart or Diddy Kong Racing.
Or F-Zero?
Or F-Zero.
Is it Wave Race?
That is 6, and that is deserved. That game rules.
Wave Race 64?
But 5 is weird, I think.
It's another racing game?
Yeah.
I'm not going to get this. There's no way.
It is Excite Bike 64.
Oh, God. Better than Excite Truck? You ever play that game?
No.
It's a Wii. I think it was a launch title on the Wii.
All right, number 8 is a pretty classic game.
Quest 64.
No.
How about WWE No Mercy?
No, I think that's farther down.
That should be on the list.
How about this? I'll read sections of it without saying the game.
Oh, okay.
When N64 owners found out blank was bringing a version
Resident Evil?
No.
2?
Of the truly remarkable PlayStation game to the N64, there were intense mixed feelings. We didn't want yet another substandard port of an outstanding PSX game.
Wow.
We wanted and were fortunate to receive, thanks to blank, arguably the best version of the breakthrough blank game, with the exception of a few minor features.
Wow.
Everything that made blank so fun made it to the N64 game. The biggest difference was that it looked better.
This is no way, Mega Man. That's not a good game.
No.
Huh.
And then they talk about how good it looks. with only the occasional dip in frame rate.
PlayStation.
The C buttons were a bit tougher on the fingers when you tried some
Tony Hawk?
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
I didn't know if that was a...
Yeah.
I guess it was a good game on the system. Did you play it?
I had it, yeah. That was to me definitive, but I feel like the PlayStation just had so much more and stuff, but...
It was just a known... it was more of a known game on that system.
Okay, here's one. Number 9 is... Wow. Blank brings its 2D platformer franchise into the third dimension. One of the best titles to grace Nintendo 64 and somewhat of a surprise.
Wow.
A grand quest. 45 platformer levels. Linear. Colorful, vividly detailed graphics. Bonus areas.
Should I get this one?
Yeah. Not because of this game, but this series. Much more linear than, like, say, Donkey Kong 64. It's right up there with Banjo-Kazooie. It's a...
No. We got Tony Hawk.
Let's just say...
We're trying to figure out what this...
It's a platformer for the N64. It's none of the obvious ones. A platformer with outstanding graphics, amazing control, classic gameplay mechanics, and a ton of variety. And it was formerly a 2D platformer that they brought into 3D.
Is an earlier version exist on my wall back here?
No, I don't think so. I think it was in the 16-bit era it existed.
Okay. That gets my mind in a different direction then.
Do you just want to know?
I'm not making good progress in this puzzle, so no, I don't want to know.
Okay. It's a character and series that you are known...
Oh, go ahead.
That you are a known fan of.
It's not Rayman. There's no good Rayman game with it.
It is. It's Rayman 2.
Rayman 2? Really?
Yeah.
I didn't like the original Raymans. I didn't like any of them, actually. Wow.
Yeah. That's why I said not this game, but... Okay. The number 10, I don't think you ever will get. But here, let's try.
Yoshi Story Case.
It's the non-licensed game with blank on the cover. And it's the very best blank game to ever hit the N64. This is a sports game.
Non-licensed game?
Non-licensed game with someone on the cover.
What is this? Oh, is this an NFL?
No. Oh, are you thinking about Quarterback Club or whatever? Wasn't that?
Oh, no, there was that game with like Bill Romanowski. It was like the. Oh, this was like much later. It was GameCube era, I think.
This is a different sport. Maybe you can guess the sport, and I think you can have it.
It's not Is this a volleyball game or something?
No. More popular, I would say. For sure.
Or what sport is it? Is it a baseball game?
No.
Is it a basketball game?
No.
Is it a football game?
Yes. Depending on where you live.
Is it an American football game?
No.
It's a soccer game.
Yes.
An unlicensed soccer game is on the top 10 list?
This is IGN for you.
You know what? It could be a good game, but nobody played it.
It is called International Superstar Soccer 98. That is the top 10 Followed by number 11, Super Smash Brothers was beat by Excite Bike.
Wow, I want to be around the round table for that discussion.
I want to know when this list is from, because I feel like maybe if you were at the time, like these games were like you were really into them, but like they probably fell away with time.
Do you think that matters? I got into a debate with somebody about this. I remember, like, does legacy of a game matter if it's a better game at the time?
What? I'm just saying, even like you would forget about it when you're making a list later. You know what I mean?
Right. I remember. I mentioned this because I remember our good pal Tom McShay.
Yeah.
So he reviewed Skyward Sword and gave it a 7 out of 10, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, the next week he gave, I think it was NBA 2K11,
Mm-hmm.
a 9.0 or something. And I remember making the argument, like, who in years from now is going to think, oh, what was a better video game? NBA 2K 2011
Mm-hmm.
or Skyward Sword?
Okay.
Because, like, oh, what about 2K12 or 2K13?
Right.
You know, like...
But that's like, if you like that series, then... Because even now, as we're seeing, Skyward Sword is not a...
Yeah. Yeah, but, like, I mean, nobody, like... Can you imagine top 10 Wii games and NBA 2K11 is on that list?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that'd be a laughable list, I think. But it's because of the, time changes things.
Yeah.
I mean, time has hurt Skyward Sword, but I still think it... that argument... I don't know.
I don't know. I think if there's one that's truly great, you could probably pick the best of that series. And
Right. Like, I like that game, NHL 94 for the... That game stands out.
Yeah.
Like, people still think...
there's probably some Madden game that's,
Yeah, I don't know if there's a particular Madden.
I don't know for sure.
I don't know the Madden lineage. If people think of, like, I used to play Madden quite a bit until the Xbox 360 era. They changed the game a little bit, and I never made the change with them.
All right, I'm going to give the rest of the list just to see how truly bonkers it is.
Number was 11 was Smash Brothers.
Yeah. 12 is WrestleMania 2000.
Okay,
that's a good game.
Wait, WrestleMania 2000, not No Mercy.
Not No Mercy.
That's bad. That's a
No Mercy is the...
Maybe because one was a sequel and didn't have the same impact. But no, that's a bad.
All right, number 13, Ridge Racer 64.
Ugh. Ridge Racer.
Number 14, Madden 99. Oh boy.
This is all the things I just mentioned.
I want to do actually where I read you a little bit for 15, or
Okay.
I'll do that for select ones.
Yeah.
After way too long, blank series. Like saying it's made its way to N64 after way too long.
Mm-hmm.
It makes its way to N64. A port of the PlayStation original. Oh wow, it's actually hard to read some of this. The adventure takes place in 3D. Oh wow, these are all very dead giveaways. It's exactly the PlayStation game with a few new things. I can't even say that. While it's a port of a PlayStation game, that doesn't make it any less spectacular. N64 runs in a high resolution mode. It's one hell of a great action adventure, arguably the best of the series.
Wow. This first.
What do you think is the best of a series that's on N64? You probably wouldn't agree.
Should I know this game?
Yeah, probably.
Well, I don't know. You can make the argument for Zelda.
Well, we already. Ocarina of Time is number one, though. Oh, I guess it could be Majora's Mask.
So wait. It says it's arguably.
It was a PlayStation game.
Okay.
That they ported.
Okay.
And they're saying it's the best of that series, and it was the first time that series came to N64.
There's no way I'm gonna get this. I don't.
It is the second entry in the series.
Was the first entry on?
It was not on N64.
Was this? Did this franchise start on the PlayStation 1?
Yeah. There's full motion video involved for the cutscenes.
Huh.
It has 2 in the title.
It's not Resident Evil, so we talked about.
It's Resident Evil 2.
Oh, okay. I thought I guessed that a lot earlier.
That wasn't in the top 10.
Okay, I see. Got it.
Oh.
Yeah. Cutscenes. Do you think the remake would hurt this list? Like, is a game like this? We've been talking about this all night, actually.
Does the remake of Resident Evil 2 hurt its legacy?
On being a top N64 game.
Oh. It's a little different, though, because for me, Resident Evil's already all over everything, You can get Resident Evil 2 all over, It's not like with Link's Awakening, it was like this kind of deeper cut classic game. All Resident Evil 2 did was it was a complete overhaul of the game too,
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite game I played this year, actually, over new games. So.
Oh, okay. Is that your game of the year?
It might be my game of the year. You heard it here.
Wow.
All right, so number 16 is 1080.
Okay.
I played that game. Then 17 is Mario Kart.
This is one of those eras because I played. This is a weird era. When you think of the N64, this translates to the GameCube too. I think GameCube might have been the last Nintendo franchise where this is relevant. But there were not nowadays. There's it's seemingly like an infinite amount of games. Mm-hmm. You can't play every game anymore. You can't play every good game anymore because there's 40 games that come out every month.
Yeah.
And some of them are hundreds of hours. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If I spent the next 3 years, I can play every single game on this list to completion. Well, there's a guy that did that actually. He beat every single NES game, but licensed game. But I mean, you can't do that anymore.
No.
And but during this era, I think you probably still could. It was right on the edge, I think, because games were a lot bigger. But but I was still too young where. I didn't have knowledge of all these games.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the only games you knew about were the ones that you had, and you just assumed that the games you had were good.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
It wasn't until I don't even know what I'm getting at with this.
Well, I think the idea that someone played number 18 All-Star Baseball.
Oh, I had that game.
And thought that's a great game. That's not out of the question.
Yeah,
right?
I had that. I wouldn't put that. I had Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball, and I like that one better.
What about number 19, NHL 99?
I had Wayne Gretzky hockey in, but then again, see, I'm naming all the games I had, and I'm like, that game was great. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm making my point indirectly.
Yeah.
Whatever game I played, I think is good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's we kind of probably, as kids too, we probably drifted more towards Nintendo. You weren't as many people were I gotta get number 20, Jet Force Gemini.
What a name.
That's a game I always remember looking at the cover and being like, that looks sick, but I never got it.
You're supposed to judge a game based on its cover.
Well, if that was the case, the number 21 Blast Corps looks terrible.
Oh my god.
Blast Corps. This has to be from the time. Number 22 is Space Station Silicon Valley.
Oh my god. What is that?
23 Mario Golf.
Golf.
24 Rocket Robot on Wheels.
Rocket League?
And then Harvest Moon 64. Yeah, when is this from? Well, it was posted in 2000. They updated it in 2018, but I find that fascinating. I think that does have a lot to do with it being published in 2000 when the N64 was still out there.
Yeah, it was on. It's like actually that was still. That's why Majora's Mask is not on that list. Probably didn't release yet.
If you made that list now, like half those games wouldn't be on there.
Time has a way of like, but like, that's such a weird statement what you just said. But I agree with it completely.
I don't think that list. It hurt to read. Yeah, but it's like I think I can totally understand at that time.
But why do you think time changes games? Because I actually think it does.
Yeah.
But like it's like, well, that was a game now, a good game then, but now it's not. But like the game, nothing's changed with the game.
Well, there are things that are. It's like they have just a bigger impact, I think, on the public. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like, even though, like, if I'm making, you know, like a list right now of like favorite films of the year or whatever, you know, like maybe my number 5 or something is gonna be not one that it's like gonna be remembered as fondly.
Okay.
Over time as like something that came out this year that was like, you know, made a bigger splash or something. You know what I mean?
Okay. Like, how about like this example? If you think of your best movies of 2018,
Okay.
was Avengers on that list? What's the Avengers one? Apocalypse? No.
Infinity War?
Yeah.
No, probably not.
Okay.
Not for me personally, but
I can imagine somebody putting that on the list, but then thinking, but Endgame was so much better, and then when they revisit their list, they're like, yeah, this was not the best movie anymore because the one next year came out. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm thinking more of like, that's true too. Certain innovations in the game industry make certain aspects look older. So when you're going back, or like, what do we want to remember from the N64 era? Like, even though it was probably the best baseball game at the time, you're like, that's not necessarily the thing we need to call out, you know, and like honor, you know. But like the Zelda game that moved it into 3D, now that might be something, you know.
Right.
Or even like, say I played Rayman 2 back in the day, and I thought that was a really fun 2D platformer or 3D platformer.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm like making a list 10 years later, I'm thinking, okay, there's a lot of 3D platformers on there. Like, what do I remember first? You know, more fondly. You know.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what happens too.
We're getting down to the nitty gritty here.
Yeah, maybe we can. Josh mentioned top 10 Game Boy.
I don't know if we'll get through that list. We're going to be done here in 3 minutes.
We'll do rapid fire.
That's a tough one.
There's so many Game Boy games.
And so many that I never had a Game Boy.
Really?
No, I had a Game Boy Color. I got a Game Boy with Pokemon. I didn't even have one. I borrowed one from my buddy. I didn't get a Game Boy until really, really late. So I didn't play Link's Awakening at the time. I played Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. I got a Game Boy Advance in 2000 and Well, right when it came out, because I remember playing Oracle of Ages on the Game Boy Advance. That was a really late game, though, for the...
Yeah. How about this, then? Give me the top 3 Game Boy games. I think you can get them all.
Pokemon Yellow. Is there a Pokemon game on there?
Red and Blue is 2.
Okay.
I feel like 3 and 1 are also obvious.
I think Super Mario Land?
No, that is 4.
Is Link's Awakening on there?
It's number 3.
Okay. So what I have
Don't look at the chat because someone got it.
Okay. Best game with Tetris?
Yep, number 1.
Can I go further on this list?
5.
Is Metroid on there?
That is number... Nope. Number 6 is not Metroid.
You know what games are not bad I enjoyed? Are any of the Mega Man games on there? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
That's not on there.
They're all good. They're all fun.
Number 5 is a really good Game Boy game. But,
isn't there a Donkey Kong game?
Donkey Kong is number 7. But not... There is a Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Land. Is
yeah, that's what it is. It looks like country kind of... Oh, you can...
Here, you can finish.
Oh, thank you. Where does this go? Oh, hey! So it took us a little bit longer because we were having some chats, but...
GG.
GG. That was fun.
No, let's tear it apart and see if we can do a better time now.
Well, no. Here, let's turn it for the camera. I don't know which camera. Probably that one.
This side camera was not a good idea. It's not.
No.
Not.
We could have just done ours a little taller. We'll keep that in mind for future puzzle streams.
Yeah. Yeah, this might be better.
All right.
Yeah.
So I have to get home. I gotta work early.
This will get framed. It'll go up. Well, it's been a good year of Zelda.
Yeah, good decade.
Yeah, good. We'll be back next year on December 26th to do another jigsaw puzzle.
This is our new tradition.
Oh boy, yeah. I like when there's like random. Do you have a favorite random tradition, Christmas tradition?
I don't know. I don't know. What is that?
I have one, and this might be a little controversial, but every year, Kevin Spacey, for Christmas, posts a video as Frank Underwood.
Oh, yeah. No, that's bad.
It's really good, though.
Oh, except that
when
his accusers wind up dead the same day.
Yeah.
That's garbage.
But the video, if you're a fan of House of Cards, anyway, I love him.
If you're a fan of Kevin Spacey and his various murders that he is orchestrating, it's good.
But I like it because if you look at his YouTube channel, his last video was from 2 days ago, and his previous video from that was 1 year ago, and it's like his channel is only.
It's true insanity.
Yeah, but
I don't know House of Cards. So.
Yeah, House of Cards. Oh God, such a good show. Anyway.
Yeah,
that's how we're getting it.
That's the way to go off.
Yeah.
This looks pretty good on here, actually. On the one camera.
Yeah, this will get hung up. I've got. Let's see. I did this Breath of the Wild on a Pono one. I did the one Wind Waker one. I did that garbage Legend of Zelda one. I did both the low roll and high roll. I thought I did another. I did another 100-piecer. Is one? Oh, the Breath of the Wild one. That's right over there. That was a good one. There is wall space. There's plenty of wall space. Stuff will need to be consolidated or crunched a little bit. I can get rid of the fish in the other room.
No, the fish is iconic.
The lion poster that I have. I got some random watchtower. I got the eagle.
Josh says no.
I could put some stuff over there too. This might go over there actually. I might put that Legend of Zelda one up and put one underneath it, or crunch them together and put 3 across. We got some room. Yeah, the fish brings the room together. I think that was it's like the carpet in
Lebowski.
Yeah,
Of course.
I'm like that's like on a 20-second delay or whatever delay, so it's like I keep adjusting it and then like waiting but then forgetting. Like, all right, now it's like going in and out of focus. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and
see you in the new year.
Tune in for our January
definitive ranking.
Yes,
on YouTube is the next big thing probably,
and we will do some sort of January stream.
Yeah, we'll do something fun.
So we did. October was Ocarina of Time Deku Tree Blindfold.
Yeah.
November was Link's Awakening.
The race.
December was a Ocarina of Time Jigsaw puzzle.
I don't know what we could do next.
What do you think? Link's Awakening Jigsaw puzzle blindfolded.
One person. I feel like we would do better if you were telling me blindfold.
Oh my god, that would be the most frustrating.
Yeah.
All right, turn the piece over. It's upside down. Next, grab the next one.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's an edge. Put it up left. Oh my god. That could be fun if it was like a 25-piece puzzle.
I'll think of something fun.
Yeah. I think this beard's got to go.
Oh, it looks good.
Does it?
Yeah. Josh liked it.
Josh commented about my beard?
He said it looked good.
Oh.
I think. Everyone loves it.
I don't know. I'm not a beard kind of guy. It feels very unMossies-like.
You look
This is the first time I have a beard and you don't.
See, yeah, everyone loves the beard. Look at that.
Does anybody not like a beard though? Our beards.
Some people.
I said it has a lot more gray.
Oh, that's not a compliment.
There's it makes me feel older in a lot of ways. I think shaving my beard I cut off about 10 years of my life.
You'll get it back.
No, I said like when I
Oh, yeah.
if I clean shave, especially if I cut my hair high like up here,
Mm-hmm.
I think I can pass her like, I don't know, a 25-year-old.
Uh-huh.
Now
you
I think
got
I
gray
can pass
hair.
for a 40-year-old, I think.
Yeah, actually, you probably could with the gray. Yeah.
My mom says I should color my hair. So, thanks, Mom. That's the best compliment I get.
Get some frosted tips.
Yeah.
All right, see you later.
All right.
That was fun.